Chapter 140. Tomato Entertainment's annual gala ended with Big Boss bragging. In just over an hour, the number of views exceeded 20 million. There were more than a dozen hot searches and countless views. Hashtag Tomato Entertainment Red Carpet Show Hashtag Xianxia Sister Red Dress Shark Hashtag C7 Super Hot Mic Singing and Dancing Hashtag and other terms rushed to the top 5 hot searches. A fashion blogger posted on Weibo, Incredible V, hashtag Tomato Entertainment Red Carpet Show hashtag, here's a short review of what I think is good today. Emily was very good at handling gender-neutral coldness. Lin Jia's mermaid dress had been changed to a low-cut design. It was a little too tight, but the little Missy's figure was really good. Qin Wanyan's outfit could be described as a textbook example of a fairy. From the dress to the makeup, it was impeccable. Unfortunately, she had met Xianxia. If Mo Li's face was classy, then Xianxia's was obviously classy. I watched the scene of her smiling at the camera dozens of times. I was really impressed by the beauty and temperament of this beautiful sister. This red dress with spaghetti straps was an old style from last year. When it was first released, many people complained that it was in the style of a karaoke girl. But today, Xianxia gave a new interpretation. People are not defined by clothes, but by people. This Weibo post had more than 5,000 comments and more than 10,000 likes. There were also well-known music critics who posted on Weibo, e.g. Great Turtle Dove V. Many netizens have added me to comment on C7's live broadcast today. I don't know much about the idol industry, but I have to admit that I have a rigid understanding of this industry. After watching the live broadcast today, I changed my view. The singing and dancing skills of these children are really good, especially the lead singers singing. I believe that even if they debut as singers, they will have a place in the music industry. But what amazed me the most was at Xianxia's electric guitar. Last time, your Xianxia was so amazing that my father was influenced by you and received Western medicine treatment. His condition has improved, and he listens to your impromptu performance several times a day. I don't know much about folk music, but I might be considered an expert when it comes to pop music. Your electric guitar accompaniment is bright and pleasant to the ear, and your playing skills are skillful. Push, vibrato, skip, as well as the climax, hit, hook, and slide are done smoothly and freely. In terms of atmosphere rendering, you have reached the realm of perfection. You can be called a master. There were more than 10,000 comments on this Weibo post, but there was a lot of controversy. Wow, culture people's compliments are so different. Our sister E is so capable. How much did you get paid to brag like this? Last time, you praised her Xianxia into the skies, and now you're praising her electric guitar. This is F***king ridiculous. Do you think you're cultivating both magic and martial arts? She's pretty good, but she shouldn't go so far as to praise a master. A real master would laugh so hard that his teeth would fall out. But soon a famous musician in China updated his Weibo, which was almost overgrown with weeds. La Movie, the little girl plays the electric guitar well. Her hands were itchy, so she mixed the bass. The finished product is rough. Everyone, listen to it and have fun. Attached is a 3.5-minute audio track. The spectating netizens clicked on it excitedly. Why did this melody sound so much like C7's song? It can't be right. F***ck was true, and if one listened carefully, they would realize that the sound of the electric guitar was the part where Xianxia played it. After the addition of the bass, there was a thick and rich tone, and there was more tension. In an instant, the whole song was raised to a higher level. Half an hour after the Weibo was posted, the number of comments exceeded 50,000. The entire internet was boiling over. Chapter 141. No way, right? A member of the national team is playing a boy group's dance song? What the hell? Is this person famous? I've never heard of him. Where did he come from to support the vase fairy? There's actually someone who doesn't know old Moo? Question mark face. Have kindergarten kids started surfing the internet? Oh my god, old Moo. The record holder for the highest album sales in China. The record holder for the most number of people attending a concert in China. Don't you think he's hot? Using hot to define teacher Moo is really insulting. Just buy a book on the history of modern Chinese music, and you'll find that he's an immortal who occupies an entire chapter. He created a new genre, a new pattern, and a new style of stage performance. Let's put it this way, C7 is the junior, and Teacher Mu is the ancestor, got it? The appearance of a big shot was shocking enough, but he was even playing a duet with someone else. C7's popularity soared, and the title track, Focus, swept through the top 3 of the major music charts with unstoppable momentum. The self-deprecating group of fans had truly broken out of the entertainment circle. There were also more people who recognized Xianxia's awesomeness, Xianxia, electric guitar. These two contrasting musical instruments, yet in her hands, she was able to perform them to the best of her ability. It was incredible. At the manor, after watching the live broadcast, Li Jinyu was still a little unsatisfied. Sigh, the cameraman didn't even give Sister E more screen time. No, when Sister E comes back, I'm going to give her more screen time. I'm going to make her look beautiful. Shui leaned lazily on the sofa, while Xiao Naofu imitated his movements. Its soft body leaned against the pillow with its little but facing up as it played with its tail wagging. At the thought of Xiangyi's imminent return, the atmosphere between the cat and man became much more harmonious. Buzz, Shui's phone vibrated. He picked it up and took a look. His ink-black eyebrows suddenly rose. Little Rabbit, Senior, my little uncle asked me out for a drink. I might not be home tonight. Please take care of Xiao Naofu. Oh, degree asterisk. Oh, Shui gently gritted his teeth. Taking his little niece out for a drink at night? Good. Very good. The netizens in the live streaming room noticed Shui's abnormality. Huh? Is Shurindi angry? Anyway, it's visible to the naked eye. Woo, Big Brother looks so cool like this. The sense of immersion is too strong. I feel like he's going to pin me against the wall in the next second. Stop talking. I'm starting to feel fetal movement. South City, at the entrance of a private bar. This bar was opened by a friend of Xiangfeng's. It was not open to the public. Basically, only people in their circle could enter. The privacy was excellent. Xiangyi opened WeChat. Just now, all the C7 brothers had added her as a friend and even created a small group. At this time, the group was at the top of the list. She clicked on it and saw that they were sharing screenshots of their Weibo fans. As they chatted, they even started a battle of emojis. She curled her lips, returned to the message board, and made a voice call to her uncle. In the bar, Xiangfeng poured a glass of dark liquid for his third nephew, who had just returned to China, while answering a call from Xiangyi. Xiaoqi, try this 1982 red wine. Lame. Whose wine is bubbling? It's obviously cola. His sexy and gorgeous voice made one's ears go soft as soon as he opened his mouth. His burgundy shirt and tie had long been pulled to one side. The shirt was unbuttoned, accentuating his cold, fair, and attractive collarbones. Little Xiangyi, just come in, we're right here at the bar. Xiangqi looked up and swept his sharp gaze over. Why did you call her here? He said coldly, what a bummer. Good night. Let me explain. When I say good night, it means that I've finished updating in the wee hours. The next update will be between 9 p.m. and 12 p.m. When I say good night, it'll be over. Thank you for your patience and love. Chapter 142. The atmosphere was a little tense. Xiangyi was silent for a few seconds on the other end of the phone before hanging up. Xiangfeng was anxious and scolded. Xiaoqi, how can you talk to your sister like that? Don't you know how happy she was when she heard that you were back in China? Happy. Xiangqi raised his hand to brush away the long strands of hair on his forehead, revealing his handsome but gloomy eyes. Can't wait to see me make a fool of myself? Xiangfeng was speechless for a moment. Thinking of the ridiculous things Xiangyi had done in the past year, Xiangfeng really couldn't find the words to reprimand her. Xiangqi was a well-known fashion designer who debuted at a young age. His designs for other brands were all on the runway of Fashion Week, and he had been preparing for his own personal show. After working hard for several years, he finally had a set of ready-made clothes called Winter Night. When he was preparing for the big show, Xiangyi wanted to show off, so she took a photo and sent it to a group of friends, which was then posted on the internet. As a result, Xiangqi's work was plagiarized by another designer, and the show was held before Xiangqi's. In the fashion industry, there was no way to explain things clearly. It could only be determined by the time the work was released. If Xianxia used the same work to hold a show, then plagiarism would become an unerasable shame in his career. However, Xianxia didn't think she was wrong at all. Instead, she blamed Xianxia for holding the show too late. She just wanted to help her brother promote it, so she sent it to the group. Xianxia was so angry that he tore up all his ready-made clothes and manuscripts. Because he had no inspiration, he couldn't design new works, so his personal show was canceled and he was ridiculed by the fashion industry. He had been traveling around the world for the past few months. He was in a good mood when he returned home, but when he heard Xiangyi's name, he couldn't control his anger. My sister is different now. Xiang Feng tried his best to persuade Xiangqi. If you don't believe me, ask Xiang Xiaoyu. He has the most right to speak. Those were his words. Xiang Feng said and dialed Xiangyu's cell phone, but no one picked up. Xiangqi looked at him coldly. Why are you being so fierce? Xiang Feng weakly changed the number of the esports base. This time, someone picked it up, and it happened to be Xiangyu's teammate. Looking for Smog? Ahem. When he came back from filming the variety show, we showed him the replay of the part where he stroked the cat, and then he shut himself off and locked himself in the training room for a few days. His phone was turned off, and he didn't log into his social media account. After reuniting with his little sister, the high-spirited esports god who pretended to be cold and aloof was instantly petrified when he saw the video of himself burying himself in Xiao Naofu's belly, kissing and sucking like an idiot. Especially when he found out that millions of netizens had seen the video. His persona was gone, his face was gone, and so was their chance to meet on the spot. The corner of Xiang Feng's mouth twitched. Okay, then when he's not autistic anymore, have him call me back. Yes, uncle. After hanging up the phone, Xiang Feng smiled sheepishly at his third nephew. Xiaoqi, you see, this is an unavoidable factor, Xiangqi snorted coldly. He elegantly picked up the wine glass and swirled it around. Only when he drank it did he realize that it was cola. His movements stiffened slightly, and his expression didn't change as he tasted cola. It could be said that he was very stubborn. Xiang Feng scratched his head and said, It's really different. My little sister cooked for me, and it was delicious. Xiangqi's eyes lit up. He suppressed his emotions and said casually, Forget it. Let her come in. But my little sister said she didn't want to disturb you and has already left. Xiangqi. Chapter 143. At the manor. By the time Xiangyi returned, it was already past 9 in the evening. Through the huge floor-to-ceiling windows, she could see everything in the living room. The handsome best actor was leaning on a rattan chair by the window, reading a book in his hand. The white and soft kitten was snoring on his lap, sleeping soundly. Xiangyi felt an inexplicable warmth in her heart. In fact, her brothers and family had doted on her since she was a child, but everyone was too busy to spend time with her. She had a lot of love, but she also had a long period of loneliness. During the most sensitive period of her adolescence, Xiangyi would secretly cry because no one waited for her at home after school. Later, when she thought about it, she always found it funny. But at this moment, Xiangyi suddenly felt very steady and stable. The regrets of the past had finally been made up for perfectly. So this was what it felt like to have someone waiting for you at home with a light on. Shui, who was by the floor-to-ceiling windows, seemed to have sensed something. He looked up, and the golden mirror chain swayed slightly in the air with his movements. Under the soft street lights in the garden, a slender and fair girl stood foolishly in the same place. She had changed into a cotton daisy floral dress and a thin apricot-colored knitted sweater. She looked obedient and soft. The two looked at each other for 2 seconds. The girl quickened her pace and ran straight to the villa. Shui pushed his glasses up with his fingers, and the corners of his mouth curled into a happy smile. He picked up the stupid cat, Xiao Naofu, and threw it behind the trash can. Xiao Naofu opened his eyes in a daze, his face blank. Who am I? Where am I? Huh? Xiangyi? The little kitten jumped over the obstacle and ran to Xiangyi's side, only to find that someone was 1 step ahead of it. Senior, I'm back. Have you had dinner? Not yet. Where are you and Xiao Naofu? Xiangyi changed her shoes at the entrance. I suddenly feel like eating instant noodles. Instant noodles were just so, but they were a magical food that one would miss after a while. Rest for a while, I'll cook. Huh? Xiangyi was stunned. Shui looked a little helpless. Teacher Xiangyi, I still have some culinary skills. Xiangyi was slightly embarrassed. I'm not doubting your ability. I'm just a little surprised. Senior, please don't call me teacher. It sounds weird. Then what should I call you? Pretty sister? Celestial in a bottle? Punk sister, E? Xiangyi had a bad feeling about this. Senior, we didn't watch my live stream, did you? Shui raised her eyebrows in tacit agreement. Not only did she watch it, but she also watched it in front of millions of netizens. Meow. Meow, meow, meow. Xiao Naofu circled around Xiangyi's feet. Xiangyi hurriedly picked up the kitten. Xiao Naofu rubbed and arched in Xiangyi's arms aggrievedly, its meaty cat paws patting the softness under Xiangyi's collarbone. It was very human-like, as if it was complaining. Shui narrowed her eyes slightly, a sense of danger faintly spreading out. What's wrong, Xiao Naofu? Are you hungry? Xiangyi touched its belly. It was round and bulging, so it probably wasn't hungry. Xiao Naofu looked at Shui with teary eyes, then buried its head in the girl's arms and whined in an aggrieved voice. Meow. Shui didn't say anything. Xiangyi gently coaxed. You mean Senior bullied you? Don't misunderstand him. He's very, very nice. Xiao Naofu. Its cat eyes widened in shock. Shui chuckled and turned to enter the kitchen. Behind her, the girl's flattery could be heard. Look, Senior even entered the kitchen. He can take care of a cat and cook. What a godly man. Chapter 144. 10 minutes later, Xiao Naofu was nestled miserably in the luxurious 3-story cat villa, facing Xiangyi with its round butt. I'm no longer that stupid woman's favorite little baby. I'm not happy. Angry. Unbeknownst to him, Shui was the white moonlight of Xiangyi's youth, and Xiangyi was also his current fan. She had a double filter, so of course, she would see Shui in whatever way she saw him. On the dining table, a pot of instant noodles with ham, eggs, and vegetables emitted a fragrant aroma, paired with 2 side dishes. In this quiet and warm night, it made one's appetite explode. Xiangyi took a bite and praised, Senior, you're the god of cooking in the instant noodles world. Xiao Naofu in the cat villa, boo-hoo, you're actually praising this stinky man. You don't know how bad he is. Shui chuckled. Little rabbit, you're quite sweet. Xiangyi, don't call me by my nickname. Why don't we make an exchange? The man slowly filled a bowl for himself. I won't call you by your nickname, and you won't call me Senior. Then what should I call it? A name is fine. Xiangyi was a little conflicted. But during the live broadcast, the netizens will probably think it's impolite, right? Will they? Shui looked at her innocently and said patiently, Then, what do you think it should be called? The director calls you Daddy Sure. Or should I call you Brother Sure or Brother Sui? Shui said leisurely. Then should I wish you a happy birth? A happy birth was often used to congratulate people on having a boy. Xiangyi's ears turned red. That's not how you use that word, right? It sounded like Director Li had become her and Sui's son. Shui said calmly. It's just a lame joke. Oh, I see. It was indeed quite cold. In the cat villa, Xiao Naofu licked its paws in disappointment. Stupid woman. He's deliberately taking advantage of you. There was no good man in this world. Sob. Why aren't you coaxing me yet? You have to coax me once, no. You have to coax me twice before this hoo-hoo cares about you. The Xiang family did not have the rule of not talking while eating, so Xiangyi naturally began chatting with Shui. Have you ever felt like crying all of a sudden? For example, when you return to an empty room, and it's raining heavily on the way home, and other mothers are chasing after their children and beating them up. Shui stared at her quietly and asked softly, Are you sad because of something? Xiangyi thought that she had adjusted her emotions well, but because of Shui's words, she felt a little sour at the tip of her nose. She thought she was strong enough. However, because of Xiangqi's words, they would still flee in discomfort. Because he had obtained it before, It was especially painful when he lost it. Perhaps it was because the night was too gentle, or perhaps it was because she never put up her guard against him. Xianxia unconsciously spoke her mind. I'm hated by my brother. Sui's thin lips moved slightly. He wanted to comfort her, but he realized that he did not have any experience in comforting people. I'm just sad for a while. Xianxia smiled. But don't you know how to coax girls? Sui's eyes were gentle. I really don't know how to. Oh, then you. Xianxia originally wanted to ask if he had ever dated a girlfriend, but she felt that this topic was too abrupt, so she changed her mind. Then I'll teach you how to coax people. Here. She took out a candy and leaned over to Shui. This is an omnipotent artifact. The next second, a big, warm hand covered the top of her head and gently rubbed it a few times. Is this coaxing okay? Chapter 145. The warm lights softened the man's chiseled face, and she was the only one in his eyes. The warmth of the man's fingers spread to her, and the air became sticky and ambiguous. Whoosh! Xianxi's milky white little ears were dyed crimson in disappointment. Her starry eyes widened in surprise, astonishment, and most of all, shyness. Our sister E, you've worked hard today, too. Shui lowered his voice and coaxed patiently. Big brother won't hate you. He's just being difficult with you right now. Don't take it to heart, okay? Thump, thump. Her heartbeat was astonishingly fast. Xianxia sat back in her chair and put some distance between them. She stammered, she was a mommy fan. How could she be moved? I'm going to check on Xiao. The girl found an excuse to leave. The man's deep eyes followed her back and stopped. In front of the cat villa, Xianxia said softly, Xiao, are you not angry anymore? Come out and drink milk, okay? Xiao. I'm not listening, but its tail wagged honestly. Xianxia continued to coax. I'll buy you a bell tomorrow, okay? Big Tiger likes it the most. It's super pretty. Xiao's ears twitched, and it turned its face. Meow, this hoo-hoo doesn't want to walk on its own. It wants to be hugged. Xianxia understood and carried the soft, white kitten out. She made some goat milk powder for it. Xiao licked a few times, then raised its chin and looked at Shui provocatively. She still likes this hoo-hoo the most. A certain actor gently snorted and said lazily, I've been hugging Xiao for too long today. My hands are a little sore. Can you give me a glass of water? His slender fingers carelessly rubbed his wrist. It was clearly a question, and there was no trace of coquettishness or coyness, but it made one's heart ache. Xianxia, I'll go right now. Shui winked at Xiao. F*CKU. Xiao never expected that it couldn't win against a green tea, a white lotus, and would even act coquettishly. Lost. Yes. The goat milk in the bowl instantly lost its fragrance. At dawn, Xianxia pulled open the curtains, and the faint morning light shone on his shoulders. The black robe was draped loosely over his body, and the chest was open, revealing the shape of his abdominal muscles. There were faint dark circles under his eyelids. He had stayed up all night and watched Two Under One Roof. Although he wasn't too sure, his younger sister seemed to have returned. He wanted to confirm it himself. A trace of a smile slowly appeared on his cold and handsome face. Xianxia dialed his uncle's number. After a while, the call connected. Xiangfeng's weak and sleepy voice came through. Third brother, I didn't even have a problem with you calling me at 2 in the morning. What are you doing so early in the morning? Xianxia went straight to the point. I want to be on that woman's variety show. Arrange it for me. Which woman? Who do you like? If you talk to me about this, I won't be sleepy anymore. 2 Under One Roof. But I heard that there will be guests later. Xianxia was a company under Xiangfeng's name, and was considered the biggest partner of 2 Under One Roof. Xianxia said coldly, What kind of overbearing CEO are you? Don't you know how to cut in line? Xiangfeng, percent at *++. He took a deep breath and told himself that this was his nephew, his biological brother. Okay, I'll arrange it for you, but you have to promise me that you won't bully your sister. It's none of your business. The call was mercilessly hung up. TT, Anwan, who was already procrastinating, was now addicted to mobile games. making her already late update even worse. Good night. Chapter 146. A few days later, on Friday, when Li Jinyu returned from his run, Xianxi's swordsmanship was almost done. He immediately went forward to serve her tea in a towel like a little maid. It could be said that he was the ultimate lackey. Xianxia, Director Li, you really don't have to be so polite. Please don't. You can just call me Shaoli. Li Jinyu said a few words and took out his phone to surf the web. Not long after, the garden began to echo with his goose-like voice. Ha! Chen Mian has screwed up. Li Jinyu blabbered. It's that director of Heartbeat. The netizens dug up his plan to encourage fans to raise funds and donate money to compete for the ranking of the livestream. In the end, there was an internal problem and someone ran away with the money. We can't even catch up with them. The fans were definitely unhappy that such a thing happened. Chen Mian wanted to cover it up at first, but he underestimated the fighting power of the fans. After a night of fermenting, he successfully became the #1 trending topic. Heartbeat was only broadcast on weekends. Now, the official Weibo had issued a notice that this week's live stream had been canceled due to technical problems. Anyone with a discerning eye could tell that the show would either have to change the director or be done for. Xianxia, the fans are the ones who suffer the most. They want to do their best for the person they like, but they're trampled on just like that. That's true. Li Jinyu sighed. His phone suddenly vibrated. He answered a few calls and said dejectedly, It's over, it's over. Is it because I'm gloating? Is this retribution from the heavens? The VIP guest we agreed on has to be changed. That VIP guest had worked with Shui before and won the Best Actress award. She had a very high status and only agreed to come on account of Shui. Li Jinyu couldn't say anything. Of course, it was mainly because he didn't dare to. It wasn't easy to change the guest at the last minute. All aspects had to be coordinated, and it also depended on whether the other party was willing to save the day. Li Jinyu made up his mind. Sister E, why don't you cook for 2 days and show off Tai Chi and swordsmanship? By the way, do you know calligraphy? And talisman drawing and whatnot? Xianxia raised her eyebrows. Why don't you let Xiao Naofu spit fire and jump in circles of fire? Or jump while spitting fire? Li Jinyu was ecstatic. Xiao Naofu can do this. What do you think? Understood. It turned out that Sister E also knew how to make people happy. Jokes aside, Xianxia was still trying her best to help him, but she didn't know as many people in the industry as the cameraman and lighting technician. She checked her friend's list and asked, Can I ask Jiangchun? Huh, that's right. Jiangchun isn't recording Heartbeat this week. His schedule should be free. I asked. Jiangchun said he has time. So do the others from C7. Tomato Entertainment attached great importance to C7. Jiangchun and the others had used the recording to threaten Sister Ling. Sister Ling's attitude had changed 180 degrees, and she had helped them plan their long-term development. She didn't accept any commercial performances, and the boys were now wholeheartedly preparing their new album. However, there should be enough time for a day of variety shows. Li Jinyu looked at Xianxia as if he was looking at a treasure. Okay, let them come. Coincidentally, Shui also came out for her morning exercise. She was dressed in black sportswear, which made her skin look even paler. What are you guys talking about? Li Jinyu excitedly said, Sister E invited the beautiful brothers to come on our show. Shui Han, 7 beautiful brothers. As expected of our Sister E, Shui's eyebrows twitched. Chapter 147. Li Jinyu lived on Weibo, Melon forums, and various gossip apps all year round, so he knew exactly what netizens were interested in. Daddy sure, think about it. The younger brother who is picking fruits looks at the camera with a shy and cute smile, asking the audience whether the fruit is sweeter or him. The younger brother who is working hard in the fields lifts the hem of his t-shirt to wipe his sweat, revealing his abs and Apollo's belt. The younger brother who is controlling the drone is so hot that he directly pours a bucket of water over his head. His clothes are wet and sticking to his young and thin body. Shui's face was indifferent. Isn't he sweet? Doesn't he have abs? Doesn't he have Apollo's belt? The more Li Jinyu thought about it, the more excited he became. One is exciting enough, and there are 7 of them. F*CK. I want to transmigrate into Sister Yi's body and experience what it's like to have a harem. Xianxia, what kind of dangerous speech is this? Okay, I'm going to discuss it with the cameraman. Li Jinyu left happily, completely unaware of a certain actor's strange behavior. Xianxia did a few stretches and was about to take a shower when she turned around and found Shui was still standing there, as if he hadn't moved at all. Brother Shi. The man's peach blossom eyes fell on her. His eyes were deep and unfathomable. Are you close to Jiangchun? Why would Zai Zai suddenly ask her this? Xianxia looked innocent. It's okay. We haven't known each other for long. To be precise, they only met at the annual meeting. Shui nodded slightly, turned around, and walked towards the living room. Xianxia was puzzled. Aren't you exercising? Shui answered casually. Xiao Naofu ate too much. I'm taking it for a run. Xianxia, huh? Is it the running that I understand? Poor Xiao Naofu was sleeping soundly in its soft cat bed, but it was dug out by a pair of slender hands. It blinked its cat eyes in a daze and said in a soft voice, Meow. Shui. Kittens that don't run should be neutered. Xiao Naofu. Saturday morning, 6 o'clock. The 7 teenagers in the white van set off from Tomato Entertainment's dormitory. Captain, doesn't the recording start at 9 o'clock? Jiangchun yawned. His eyes were watery. The captain of C7, Xianxia, said earnestly, You guys don't understand. I specially made a video clip of my sister. Her breakfast is especially delicious. The eyes of a group of boys who usually didn't have enough to eat lit up. Wow, sister knows how to cook? How outstanding. Is there anything I can't do? Big sister must be a little fairy who has descended to the mortal world to undergo a tribulation. Jiangchun was speechless. You haven't even seen elder sister. Why are you already bragging? Did you guys secretly learn to bootlick behind my back again? But big sister is making breakfast for so many of us. Isn't it very tiring? Someone said weakly, and the boys all fell silent. A few seconds later, Jiangchun raised his hand and said, We can each take one bite. One bowl is enough. Hearing this, Xianxia spared no effort in praising. Chun, you're really a clever little devil. Everyone clap. Clap, clap, clap. The atmosphere was lively and harmonious. Jiangchun lowered his cap, but he couldn't hide the smile on his face. The van stopped at the entrance of the manor. The 7 boys looked at the towering iron gate and exclaimed in unison. Suddenly, the sound of brakes came from behind. Everyone turned around and saw an extremely flashy red sports car. Chapter 148. Wow, I've seen this sports car in a magazine before. It's a global limited edition. The lead singer, Tian, was particularly interested in cars. His throat rolled as he drooled. Whoosh, the door opened and a tall figure got out of the car. He was about 188 centimeters tall, with excellent proportions and a high waistline. Visually, his legs were 2 meters long, and he could walk on the runway at any time. His camel-colored trench coat was very stylish, with a white shirt and beige trousers underneath. From his sunglasses to his cufflinks, everything was exposed, high class. The 7 boys were dumbfounded. Xianxia was the first to react. He took the lead and bowed to the man. Greetings, senior. We're C's even. The group of younger brothers bowed 90 degrees like frightened quails. Xianxia took off his sunglasses, revealing his slender phoenix eyes that curved outwards, exuding the aura of a rich playboy. He scanned the boy's attire and opened his mouth in an unfriendly manner. Ha, your taste is worrying. C7, they felt like they were being despised, but somehow they felt like they were being despised. Jiangchun was, after all, the most experienced member of the small group. He hesitated before carefully asking, Are you Senior Hades? Hades originally meant the king of the underworld in ancient Greek mythology, but now this name represented a legend in the Chinese fashion industry. His debut work, Alice in Wonderland, was featured in Fashion Week. He was the youngest person in history to win the Muse Award, the highest Western fashion design award. His clothing line had set a record for annual sales both offline and online. In entertainment circle, even A-listers would fight to borrow the clothes he designed. Jiangchun was lucky enough to wear a retro suit made by Hades himself. His fans praised him for more than a month before they stopped. Xianxia responded perfunctorily, a little unhappy. Are you today's guests? Why are there so many people? Xianxia explained, because Senior Tang changed his schedule at the last minute. We're here to make up the numbers, right? Okay, got it. He sounded very impatient. Xianxia asked timidly, Senior, are you a guest too? He didn't seem to have heard the program crew mention that Hades was coming. Xianxia sneered. What? Haven't you seen anyone who brings money into the crew? I've seen people who brought money into the production team, but I've never seen anyone as arrogant as you. Xianxia put on his sunglasses again and took a step forward with his long legs. It was as if he was walking on the wind, just like a model. A few boys followed behind him timidly, as if they were a big boss with a group of underlings. After walking through the door, Big Boss Xianxia suddenly stopped in his tracks. The lackeys were so frightened that they stopped in their tracks. Jiang Qin tugged at Xianxia's sleeve secretly. Xianxia thought, why are you pulling me? I'm scared too. Later, when it's time to eat, if anyone dares to snatch a bite from me. Pausing skillfully, Xianxia threatened like a demon king. You're dead meat. Understand? The lackeys nodded fervently. Not until then was Xianxia satisfied. He started to walk like a model again, taking the cobblestone path into the living room. He didn't even bother to ring the doorbell. He raised his chin and looked at Jiang Chun, who was the closest to him. You, come and knock on the door. The top little fresh meat in the entertainment circle was clearly being ordered around. Jiang Chun pressed the doorbell, trembling with fear. He waited for a while, but no one answered. Xianxia frowned and pressed the doorbell several times. Jiang Chun was so scared that his face turned pale. Can you press the doorbell like this? Senior is so mean. Will he bully my sister? Ah. Chapter 149. With a soft creak, the door was pulled open. The handsome and noble movie king raised his eyebrows slightly at the group of people outside the door. Good morning. He casually greeted them in a lazy tone. You must be tired from the journey. Come in and have a seat. Slippers were prepared at the entrance, and the boys from C7 timidly entered the room to change into their slippers. They then sat in a neat row on the sofa, looking well-behaved. At the door, Xianxia coolly asked, Hey, where's that woman? Shui crossed his arms and didn't say anything. He just quietly stared at Xianxia. Under his gaze, Xianxia silently took off his sunglasses and reluctantly called out, Brother Shi. Ever since he was young, Xianxia had dared to be rude in front of anyone except Shui. Shui indifferently replied with an Xianxia couldn't wait to ask, Where's Xiangyi? Is she a pig? Why is she still sleeping at this time? Shui indifferently said, Look at the time yourself. Xianxia looked down. It was only 7 o'clock. Cough. He had waited until dawn to set off. Why was he still so early? You go sit too. After Shui finished speaking, he keenly felt that something was wrong. The little rabbit's schedule was very regular. She went to bed early and woke up early. She also had the habit of exercising in the morning. She should be up at this time. Meow. Meow meow. Xiao Naofu suddenly bit on his trousers and frantically pulled him towards Xiangyi's room. Shui's heart thumped. He didn't even have time to think about whether it was improper to enter a girl's room. He pushed open the door. Unlike the guest room's decoration, the girl's room had a warm style. The furniture was made of raw wood, and rabbit dolls could be seen everywhere. There was a row of green plants on the windowsill that were growing very well. Xiao Naofu's legs were short. It hopped a few times before jumping onto the bed and patting Xiangyi's pillow with its paws. It was sleeping on the pillow next to Xiangyi. When it woke up, it found that Xiangyi's face was abnormally red, and it felt hot to the touch. Humans were very fragile and could die from a single disease. Thinking of this possibility, Xiao Naofu was so anxious that he was about to cry. It didn't want the stupid woman to die. Shui raised her hand to feel the temperature of Xiangyi's forehead and frowned. She had a fever. What? Sister is sick? Was it serious? Do you want to call 120? Shui was rummaging through the medical kit in the living room. The boys from C7 were extremely worried. Even Xianxia stopped shaking his legs and licked the corner of his mouth nervously. I called the family doctor. The doctor said to take some fever medicine first. If the illness doesn't subside, he'll come over. His calm voice calmed everyone down. Shui took out the medicine box with her slender fingers. She looked up at Xianxia and asked, "Are you going to feed her the medicine?" It was an emergency just now, but now that he had calmed down, it didn't seem appropriate for him to feed the little rabbit with her brother around. Unfortunately, he underestimated how much Xianxia cared about his reputation. The man crossed his long legs and raised his chin. "Who's going to feed her?" "I'm not going." They hadn't reconciled yet, and that woman hadn't sweetly called him brother to beg for forgiveness. He didn't want to pay attention to her. Shui was speechless. She wasn't at ease with the female staff of the program, so she simply entered Xiangyi's room and personally fed her the medicine. Xiangyi's consciousness was muddled from the fever. In a daze, she felt a pair of warm and strong hands on her back. A low and hoarse voice gently coaxed, "Be good. Open your mouth." She obediently took the medicine. In the next second, the water stain at the corner of her mouth was wiped away by cold white fingertips. The light in front of her gradually became clear. Her line of sight focused and crashed into a pair of deep eyes. Her nasal voice was soft and nasally. "Oh, Zai." Chapter 150. A few seconds later, her muddled consciousness returned, and Xianxia felt that her brain had been scared awake a lot. Shui smiled faintly and asked, "What did you call me? Zai?" The little girl shrank into the thin quilt guiltily. "So, this is what you meant when you said you were a mom fan last time. Huh, what did you say before that you treat me like a cat? Turns out you treat me like a cub. Meow." Xiao poked its head over and touched Xiangyi's face with its little paw. It was still hot. It glared at Shui as if to say, "Can you treat me or not? Brother, feed Xiao something." Xiangyi's voice was sickly and weak. "By the way, are the guests here? There are shrimp dumplings I wrapped in the fridge. They can be eaten after steaming. There's fish soup in the electric pot in the kitchen. You can boil some rice noodles and put them in it. You can add the seasoning according to your taste." In addition to her fever and nasal congestion, the little girl's voice sounded much softer than usual and a little hoarse. It was like a small feather brush, faintly seductive. Her pitiful appearance made it hard for him to get angry at her. Shui sighed and said with a helpless tone, "Don't worry about these things. Sleep a little longer." He poured half a glass of water for the little girl, tucked her in, and picked up Xiao to leave. He inadvertently glanced at the cat's fur on the other pillow and narrowed his deep eyes. "So this stupid cat actually slept with me at night?" In the living room, Li Jinyu was chatting with the boys from C7. "Oh my, so many handsome young men. I already have a hunch that the comment section will be flooded with comments." The boys were obviously a little nervous. With the popularity of two under one roof and the presence of a regular guest like Shui, they listened to Li Jinyu like a group of elementary school students. "And Hades, I've heard so much about you. In fact, Li Jinyu had rejected the guest from Xianxia, but they had given him too much, a cover shoot for a top magazine and 2 sponsorship endorsements. This Hades didn't even charge an appearance fee. How is this a pie falling from the sky? This was God forcing a pie into his mouth." Xianxia looked him up and down and was shocked by Li Jinyu's attire. White tank top, floral print pants, blue plastic slippers. Xianxia, who was surrounded by exquisite models, socialites, and fashion buyers all year round, could not believe that there was such a careless human being. He shook his head. "TSK, polluting my eyes. Li Jinyu, this meant that she despised him, right? Also, why did the C7 brats look at him as if they were in the same boat?" At this moment, Shui came out with Xiao in her arms. Naturally, it attracted everyone's attention. Li Jinyu hurriedly asked, "How is Sister E?" The members of C7 were all talking at once. "Is Sister feeling better? Has Sister's fever gone down? Does Sister need someone to accompany her?" Xiangqi's thin lips moved. "This group of noisy humans. She's asleep." Shui's tone was cold. "Have you all eaten breakfast?" Xiangyi prepared fish noodles and shrimp dumplings in advance. In an instant, the eyes of everyone in the room lit up. The boys from C7 were still a little shy, while Li Jinyu rubbed his hands excitedly. Xianxia, on the other hand, had a proud and noble look on his face as he stepped out of a limited-edition luxury bag. He took out a large bowl. Everyone. Chapter 151. Noticing everyone's strange looks, Xianxia raised his chin slightly and said arrogantly, "What? Haven't you seen anyone bring their own utensils?" They had seen bowls, but never such a big bowl. Li Jinyu said awkwardly, "Hades, you really don't care about trifles." He thought that since Hades was a fashion designer, he could be considered an artist. It was normal for him to have some strange hobbies. Tisk, Xianxia was disdainful. "It's just a bowl. What's the big deal? Hashtag as long as I don't feel awkward, others will feel awkward." Hashtag in the past, eating his sister's cooking was like going to the battlefield. Xiangyu and Xiangfeng used to bring pots to battle. That was called a bloody storm. The shrimp dumplings and fish noodles were half finished. Li Jinyu volunteered to cook and asked the photographer, Old Li, to take some material. And the task of feeding Xiao Naofu was also won by Jiangchen. The 7 boys surrounded the soft and milky white kitten, chattering and praising it nonstop. "This is the cat sister raised. It's too small. It's not even as big as my palm. It's looking at me. Its eyes are like sapphires." Jiangchen looked at it eagerly. "Little kitty, can you let me touch it?" Xiao Naofu proudly stuck out its butt and refused him. "Huh, there's not even any dried fish. Don't even think about touching it." Jiangchen's reaction was, it looks so cute when it sticks out its butt." Xiao Naofu slowly typed a question mark. 20 minutes later, breakfast was served. Opening the steamer made of linden wood, the steam dissipated, revealing delicate shrimp dumplings one after another. The skin made of white powder was thin and transparent, as white as snow. The shrimp and bamboo shoots wrapped inside were faintly discernible. A shrimp dumpling was filled with 2 shrimps. It was round and cute. In the electric stew pot was a creamy and sticky fish soup. Fresh Crucian carp was lightly fried in oil and mixed with ginger and cooking wine to remove the fishy smell. Xianxia had set the timer at 6 o'clock, so it was just right. The fish was fresh and tender, and the fish soup was delicious. Just looking at it made people salivate. Li Jinyu cooked a large bowl of rice noodles. He added fish soup and other side dishes according to his taste and seasoning. It was ready. Li Jinyu had eaten a lot of Xiangyi's cooking recently, so he was more reserved. He first put 2 steamers of shrimp dumplings in front of Jiangchen and the others. "Eat. The recording will be tough later." The group of boys remembered Xiangqi's threat and looked at him weakly. Xiangqi was eating prawn dumplings. With one bite, the prawns were slightly chewy and the bamboo shoots were fresh and refreshing. There was probably some lard in them, as the juices that spilled out were extremely fragrant. He paused for 2 seconds and clenched. On the surface, he was cold and pretentious. However, he was roaring loudly in his heart. "Good. It's his sister. It must be his sister's doing." Xiangqi, who was in a good mood, found the group of little brats much more pleasing to the eye. His tone was much more benevolent than before. "Eat, eat, eat. I was just scaring you a bit. Did you really take it seriously?" The brats, "Senior, you didn't look like you were scaring us. You sounded so serious when you threatened us." Each of them carefully tasted a shrimp dumpling. Everyone opened their eyes wide and slowed down their chewing speed, as if they could enjoy the delicious taste in their mouths for a while longer. Sob. Someone choked with sobs, and the eyes of the boys turned red. Li Jinyu was shocked. "What's wrong with you guys? Are you crying because it's delicious?" Chapter 152. It's really delicious. Boo-hoo, I thought I wouldn't be able to eat it. I suddenly miss my mother. Speaking of their mother, the atmosphere at the table became even more depressing, even a little sad. Li Jinyu was confused. You guys, Daddy, sure. How do we coax them? He was a big man, and coaxing a little girl was fine. But how could he coax a little boy? Shui didn't bat an eyelid as she scooped a bowl of rice noodles for each of them and poured the fish soup over it. This frightened the children, and they all stood up to receive it with both hands, wishing they could give Shui a 90-degree bow on the spot. with the rice noodles. None of them ate the shrimp dumplings. They silently ate the rice noodles and drank a mouthful of the warm and fresh fish soup. They were so obedient that it made one's heart ache. They were the kind of children who didn't dare to eat too much even when they were guests at their relatives' houses. Li Jinyu felt a little sad. It was said that only children who knew how to cry would get to eat candy. These obedient children were probably suffering. Hey, don't be shy. Eat more. There's enough. Sister, he made a lot of shrimp dumplings, Li Jinyu persuaded. C7 agreed, but they still buried their heads in the soup. Sure, Sui said gently. Today we have to record farm work, and it will consume a lot of calories. It's okay to eat more. A sneer suddenly sounded. Xianxia put down his chopsticks and said in the tone of a group boss, Eat. Eat for me. No one is allowed to leave until we finish eating. Everyone. Jiang Chun trembled and subconsciously shrank behind Li Jinyu, who was closest to him. Li Jinyu, who was easily frightened, almost dropped his bowl. He coughed. Hi. Hide I see. The children are still young. Don't scare them. What did you call me? Li Jinyu was anxious. I have a big mouth. My English is plastic. I'm wrong. Hide I see. Oh no, Hades. Xianxia was furious. His name was so Western, high and mighty, yet he was called Hai Dai Si. Seeing that the man was about to roar, Sure Sui stopped him with one sentence. Xiangyi is sleeping. These words seemed to have brought Emoli along with them, instantly shutting Xianxia up. He inhaled and exhaled several times before calming down. Grinding his teeth, he said, Do you know how many models have starved themselves to death in pursuit of a size 0 figure? How many people are suffering from anorexia? Besides, all of you are eating so little. Will you have the strength to work later? The boys were all scared silly. Xianxia pushed a few baskets of shrimp dumplings over and said fiercely, Open your mouth and eat. If you dare to waste it, you're dead. The next second, Jiang Chun and the others picked up their chopsticks and shoveled rice into their mouths. Sob, sob. So eating is such a blissful thing. After the meal, Jiang Chun patted his belly contentedly. The corners of his mouth curled up. The others had the same reaction as him. They were extremely satisfied. Li Jinyu saw that it was about time. All right, everyone get ready. We're about to start the live broadcast. At 9 o'clock, the live broadcast of Two Under One Roof started on time. Li Jinyu started from the garden outside the house and slowly moved to the huge floor-to-ceiling window. Through the transparent glass, the 7 teenagers greeted everyone with a smile. Hello, everyone. We're C7. The camera moved to Xianxia. He glanced at the camera and said in a lazy and gorgeous voice, Introduce yourself? I'm Haidai. Hades. The 7 C's members held back their laughter. Sure Sui chuckled. Li Jinyu was much more excessive. In an instant, his goofy laughter echoed in the live broadcast. Ha 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 ha. Chapter 153. The comments section of the stream exploded. Wow, the C7 brothers are in this episode. Who is this long-legged brother? I want all his information in 1 minute. 7 brothers and 1 elder brother, plus the cultured scum Shuringdi. Sure enough, one can see all kinds of miracles after living for so long. Let me explain. The long-legged brother is the famous fashion designer Hades. He's extremely talented and has won countless awards. Don't be fooled by his young age. His status in the fashion industry can be described as highly respected. What the hell is with kelp? Hades must have a bad mouth. The director is poisonous. Whenever he laughs, I can't help but laugh along with him in front of the screen. Xianxia gave Li Jinyu a cold look. Only then did Li Jinyu manage to stop laughing and read the narration in a serious manner. Today, Sister E, or Teacher Xiangyi, has a fever, so I'm afraid she won't be able to participate in today's recording. As soon as he finished speaking, the camera caught Xiangyi's door open. A girl in a fluffy jacket was rummaging through the storage cabinet in the living room. Sister, what are you looking for? I'll help you. Jiang Chun was the first to rush over. The other members of C7 did not back down and gathered around her. Sure Sui, Xianxia, the fans in the stream, did the Xiang actress cast a spell on these brothers? Why are they all so nice to her? Wow, Sister E looks so soft in this outfit. There are 2 rabbit ears on the hat. Even a girl like me would be tempted, let alone the brothers. Uh, what did I just see? Is it a needle? No, I have a phobia of sharp objects. Is she crazy? Doesn't she care about the audience's feelings? At this moment, the cameraman entered the living room and zoomed in. Xianxia took out a golden needle from a wooden box and began to disinfect it. Li Jinyu gulped. Sister E, this isn't an acupuncture needle, is it? Yeah, I'll give myself 2 needles so I'll heal faster. Li Jinyu. The netizens in the stream? Is this the legendary saying that I'll stab myself when I'm ruthless? Is she crazy? Acupuncture isn't something you can mess around with. It has to be done at the exact acupoint for it to be effective. Sister Yi's nasal voice is so cute. My focus seems to be different from yours. Seeing that Xianxia was really going to perform acupuncture on him, Li Jinyu hurriedly dissuaded her. Sister E, even if you know how to perform acupuncture, you're sick now. What if your hands tremble and you perform acupuncture on the wrong acupoint? Before he could finish speaking, the young girl's hand lifted the needles and firmly inserted them into the He Gu and Tsuchi acupoints on his arms and hands. She gently twisted the needles and pulled them out. Calmly, she tilted her head and looked at him. HM, what did you say? Li Jinyu was shocked. The netizens in the live stream were also shocked. That's it? Why do I feel like she's faking it? She doesn't have to pretend like she knows medicine. What's the point of stabbing her so quickly? What a joke. The doctors in the Chinese medicine hall downstairs even have to leave needles after acupuncture. I don't think the Xiang actress even knows what it means to leave needles. Jiang Chun, on the other hand, had a charming trust in Xianxia. He asked curiously, Sister, are you a Chinese medicine practitioner? Yeah. Xianxia smiled. I'm going to cook some medicinal cuisine. If there's any soup you guys want to drink, I'll make it in advance. The boy's eyes lit up. There was still lunch after breakfast. What kind of carefree life was this? However, the live stream started arguing because of Xianxi's words. Chapter 154. Admit that she's a Chinese medicine practitioner? She doesn't even need to think of a script to lie these days. Graduates of Chinese medicine schools wouldn't dare to call themselves Chinese medicine practitioners if they didn't get a medical certificate. Xiang, you're so full of yourself. Ha 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 ha. I'm dying of laughter. My best friend is complaining about Xianxia, saying that she's not as pretentious as Zhuang Zhou's sister. The female lead drama has been quite popular recently. I have a bold guess. Is the Vase Fairy trying to emulate the female lead drama and become an all-rounder? A man who is never content is like a snake trying to swallow an elephant. She's quite talented in music. Isn't it good to focus on what she's good at? Why does she have to be so pretentious? It's annoying to watch. There were many sarcastic comments in the comments. Xianxi's popularity with the public was extremely poor, and many people had developed a habit of criticizing her for the sake of criticizing her. Even though she had performed well in Two Under One Roof, everyone chose to turn a blind eye or continue to criticize her from a different angle. As long as they were strong enough, they could find a bunch of flaws, even if they were saints. However, they had underestimated the number of Xianxi's fans. Someone immediately jumped out to refute. Take out a needle and try it, see if it will bleed. Keeping the needle is an acupuncture technique, but not keeping the needle is also an acupuncture technique, okay? Some people must be blind. Can't they tell when she's so skilled in acupuncture? My whole family is watching the live stream together. My grandfather is a Chinese medicine practitioner. He said that even if he doesn't have a medical certificate, she at least has medical skills. The comments were ripping each other apart, but in reality, things were very harmonious. Acupuncture treatment for fever was fast to begin with, and Xianxia took the fever medicine that Sure Sui fed her. Under the two-pronged treatment, her condition improved a lot. The boys from C7 looked at her in unison, waiting for her to assign them work. Xianxia stuck his hands in his pockets, glancing at her from time to time under his sunglasses. Go pick some jasmine flower buds. You two go chop firewood. Remember to wear gloves. You four go to Little Rabbit Farm to collect carrots. The girl's voice was soft, and her logic was clear, ensuring that everyone had something to do and wouldn't be too tired. The boys set off energetically. Xianxia said impatiently, "Hey, what are the two of us doing?" He pointed at himself and sure sway, but his fierce look made it seem as if he was going to give Xianxia the middle finger in the next second. Some people were gloating in the comments. Hades must hate the pretentious girl because of his attitude towards her. Seeing her third brother after so long, Xiangyi's emotions stirred. She sniffled and whispered, "What do you want to do? I'll listen to you." The production team. Netizens. Is the poser trying to curry favor with Hades? Looks like only Hades' overbearing arrogance can subdue her. However, to everyone's surprise, the famous international designer fiercely picked up the tissue box, pulled out a few tissues, and pressed them on Xiangyi's nose. Her face was small, and his palm was big, so it covered almost half of the little girl's face. "What are you waiting for? Blow your nose." Xiangyi's expression was blank, but she subconsciously did as she was told. Xianxia yelled at her, "Use more strength." The little girl's slender body trembled. The millions of viewers in the live broadcast room witnessed this incredible scene with their own eyes. Xianxia threw away the used tissues, pulled out a clean one, and wiped her nose before saying in disgust, so dirty." Chapter 155. Everyone. Why did you wipe it if you thought it was dirty? Xiangyi stared at her brother in a daze. She actually wasn't that strong. She would always feel like crying over the trivial matters between her family members. It was only in this world where she had no family to rely on that she became stronger little by little. From Xiangqi's perspective, he saw the tip of his sister's nose turn red. He frowned slightly, probably because he had used too much strength and accidentally rubbed it. When he looked up, he found that his younger sister's eyes were red and filled with tears. Xiangqi panicked. "Don't cry." The little girl's ears on her jacket drooped, and the mist in her eyes wouldn't fall, wetting her feather-like eyelashes. A pair of bony hands suddenly grabbed her bunny ears and turned her shoulders so that her back was facing the photographer's camera. Silent gentleness and consideration. Shui's eyes were thin as she glanced at Xiangqi. "Fishing? Are you going?" Behind the manor, there was a medium-sized pond. Last year, Uncle Wang had brought people here to release the fish seedlings, which should have fattened up quite a bit by now. Fishing, fishing, fishing. Xiangqi gave a perfunctory reply, but his heart was still worried about his sister. He wanted to coax Xiangyi, but the moment he opened his mouth, his words were vicious. "Hey, I'm telling you, if you dare to cry, I won't wipe your tears." It could be said that he was very fierce, the netizens in the stream. I don't even know how to retort. I used to think Hades was a sexy and wanton evildoer, a romantic and sensual genius. Why is he so silly in real life? I don't understand this pretentious guy's brain. What's there to cry about? Why is he acting like a white lotus? So pretentious, why do I feel like Hades is a bit arrogant? For example, he seems to be threatening the C7 kids to eat, but in fact he can tell that they don't dare to eat. Another example is his attitude towards Sister E, and his tone is fierce. But if he really hates Sister E, why would he wipe her nose? Xiangyi took some time to adjust her mood. After calming down, she went into the kitchen to cook the medicinal cuisine. Seeing the girl put a few Chinese herbs into the casserole, the live broadcast room mocked her again. By the side of the pond, the weeping willows swayed gently, and a few creepers and roses bloomed just right. The air was filled with a faint fragrance, and the sound of insects spread between the branches. Lotus leaves had just emerged from the water. The scenery was picturesque, but the two people fishing by the shore were even more stunning than a painting. In the live stream, my eyes are full of long legs. Saliva. Shuringi looks so relaxed when he's fishing. I feel like he's suited for this kind of leisurely life. Hey, Hades is quite well behaved. I thought he was the type who couldn't sit still. In the next second, the camera zoomed in on Xiangqi's handsome face. Under the cover of the fine hair on his forehead was a pair of tightly shut eyes. It was as if he had fallen asleep. Netizens. Shui seemed to have expected this. Ripples appeared on the surface of the water. He calmly pulled back his rod and caught a plump grass carp. Time passed by slowly. In the blink of an eye, The teenagers who had gone to Little Rabbit Farm returned with newly harvested carrots in their hands. In the midst of playing around, one of them threw a shoe at his teammate and accidentally threw it onto the roof of the small kitchen. The effect of this segment was excellent. The netizens in the live stream were laughing uncontrollably, but the boys were dumbfounded. Huh? What should we do? Go back and ask sister if she has a ladder? The few of them were chattering away when, suddenly, a disdainful sneer came from behind. Huh, you still need a ladder at this height? Chapter 156. Huh, that voice is... Everyone turned around to see that it was indeed Senior Hades. The man had put on his sunglasses again at some point. Just by standing there, he was more pleasing to the eye than any male model on the runway. Hello, Senior. The boys hurriedly greeted him. Xianxia walked to a tree next to the small kitchen, took off his windbreaker, and tossed it to them. Live comments. What is Hades doing? I have a feeling there's going to be a high-energy event ahead. No way, no way, I don't believe Adonis can climb a tree. F***CK. He's really climbing. She watched as Xianxia skillfully climbed up the tree. With a sweep of his long arms, he picked up the shoe and casually threw it on the ground. He then proudly stood on the trunk of the tree, looking like a master of martial arts who said, "It's just a piece of cake." Shui, who was standing by the pond and watching this scene, sure enough, they were a family with a talent for climbing. There was probably no tree in this world that the Xiang family couldn't climb. The boys from C7 were dumbfounded. They froze for a few seconds before reacting and applauding Xianxia. Senior, you're so cool. Wow. As expected of Senior, Xianxia didn't show it on his face, but his heart was full of praise. What a bunch of inexperienced brats. Live comments. Kid, do you have a lot of question marks? I don't know why. This scene reminds me of Sameo Guh. He climbs so fast. Gidge, you're wearing a custom-made shirt. Aren't you afraid of ruining it? It was almost time for dinner. The boys from C7 crowded around Xianxia, worshipping him like a hero. Shui carried a basket full of fish and kept a distance from them. The scene was inexplicably comical. When everyone returned to the villa, they suddenly heard a scream. Immediately after, there was the sound of an axe falling to the ground. The staff hurried forward. The scene was chaotic, making it harder to figure out the situation. Get out of the way. Shui's low and cold voice carried a strong aura that allowed no one to object. She strode forward, and the people around her subconsciously made way for her. C7's captain, Xianxia, was half kneeling on the ground, his left hand supporting his right arm. His face was pale. Large beads of sweat rolled down his face, without a trace of blood. Don't move around, Shui reminded Xianxia, then said calmly, call the ambulance immediately. Li Jinyu said worriedly, but it will take a while for the nearest hospital to get here. After all, the manor was located in the suburbs of the suburbs. Call first. Also, get the car ready, just in case. The fans of Caspian 7 in the live broadcast room exploded. Ah, our brother is so pitiful. How can we let our brother work? Zai is still a child. What did he do wrong to be tortured like this? I'm going to cry to death. Our brother has an old injury. Why didn't Xianxia come and chop the firewood herself and get her brother to do it? Go to hell, go to hell. Hee hee, I just want to send a message to the female star Xiang. Have a good trip. Candle. The scene was carried out in an orderly manner according to Shui's instructions. Shui suddenly thought of something and looked at Xianxia. Go call Xianxia over. The hostility in the live comments became even more turbulent. Shui, F***CK your mother. Are you going to kill our brother before you're satisfied? I'm saying this. If anything happens to our Zai today, everyone here will be the murderer. Chapter 157. The fans were so concerned that it was inevitable that there would be some irrational comments. However, it left a bad impression on the other netizens. Are some fans worried about Xianxia or cursing him? There are no external injuries and no blood. It's most likely a cramp, dislocation, fracture, and so on. It's not a terminal illness that can be cured, yet they keep saying that it's going to kill him. Xianxia's fans, can't you use your brain to watch the live stream? Xianxia is the only one in this group who knows medicine. To put it bluntly, if something really happens, she can at least give him first aid or something. But regardless of their attitude, everyone's hearts were in their throats. At this moment, Xianxia hurried out of the kitchen with a bowl of glutinous rice noodles in her hand. She didn't even bother to wash her hands and simply rubbed it against her body. She half-knelt beside Xianxia and carefully held his right arm. She touched it cautiously and asked Xianxia how he felt. Xianxia answered truthfully. However, in the eyes of the fans, Xianxia was an eyesore. Why are you still taking advantage of CI at a time like this? Please, don't pretend to know when you don't know. Just King fix yourself. Don't try it on our brother. If I were there, I would give her 2 tight slaps. Her hands are so dirty. She doesn't deserve to touch my brother. Don't touch our brother. Get the ambulance here immediately. If it's a fracture, he'll have to undergo surgery. What's the use of traditional Chinese medicine? Xianxi's technique was light at first, then heavy. Coupled with Xianxi's answer, she quickly came to a conclusion. Xianxia, don't be afraid. First of all, you're only dislocated. There won't be any life-threatening danger. Secondly, I have a professional certificate of traditional Chinese medicine, so I can help you set your bones. After a pause, she added gently, don't feel burdened. You can wait for the ambulance to come and go to the hospital for treatment. The fans were speechless. Wasn't she implying that she was very arrogant, but she didn't have to treat him? Shouldn't she be doting on her brother? Why does her tone sound so calm and even a little cold? Xianxia endured the pain and said in a muffled voice, Sister, I believe you. His forehead was covered in cold sweat, and his lips were bitten so hard that teeth marks could be seen. He looked at Xianxia with teary eyes, pitiful and pure. Xianxia, okay, you counted 2 8 beats. Come on, 567, go. Xianxia subconsciously began to count the beats, a habit formed by many years of trainees. However, before he could count the full 8 beats, he heard a crack and the bone was reset. Okay, that's perfect, the girl said calmly. Everyone in the program crew. The netizens were speechless. No way, that's it. Xianxia himself was in a daze, but the most direct feeling he had was that the pain had really been relieved. His eyes widened in shock. Sister, are you what? Xianxia said casually. It's just bone setting. Is it difficult? Xianxi's grandfather was a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, and most of his friends were medical experts. She had been influenced by what she saw and heard since she was a child, and Xianxi's grandfather even consciously trained her to diagnose and prescribe prescriptions for patients. She had more than 10 years of medical experience. Later on, when she transmigrated to another world, Xianxi's medical skills also improved, but the people she came into contact with were all big shots. In the immortal world, there were also big shots who had entered the Tao through medicine. Hence, she had always felt that she was of a very ordinary standard. The more knowledge one had, the more insignificant they would feel. Little did she know that for others, a few seconds of diagnosis and bone setting was simply a divine doctor. Chapter 158. From Acupuncture to Bone Setting. If the program crew had doubts about Xianxi's medical skills at first, they were now convinced. Sister, you're so awesome. Jiangchen clenched his fists and said excitedly, I'm bragging. I'm finally the first one to flatter her. Not to be outdone, the others began to brag. Sister, you're so talented. Sister, is there anything you can't do? The young boys were full of praises. In the live stream, the pretty girl is being praised by the pretty boys. I'm so jealous. Xianxia is so outstanding. She's a great cook, a musical genius, and a miracle-working doctor of Chinese medicine. Sister E, do you have any relatives who share the same father or mother? I can move in with my luggage, go to college, learn how to wash dishes, and sweep the floor. I'm different. I can move in with my luggage. Hades. Thank you, I'm offended. No, it should be Kelpo. Did you bring your own cutlery too? Ha 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 ha. Is the kelp in front trying to kill me? You guys are going to ruin Hades. Some of the fans who had been slapped in the face weren't convinced and didn't want to admit that they were wrong at all. Maybe she was just lucky. How could she boast about being a miracle-working doctor? What a joke. The pretentious girl just said that she has a Chinese medicine qualification certificate. Come on, taste it carefully. Only those who specialize in Chinese medicine and work in medical or healthcare units can get a Chinese medicine qualification certificate. You're bragging so much that your mother can't recognize you, right? Anyone with a discerning eye can tell that the actress Xiang was just lucky. The metaphysical treatment methods of Chinese medicine can only fool the retarded uncles and aunties at the entrance of the community. If she's really good, why have so many Nobel Prizes in medicine been given to Western medicine for so many years? However, these people who were clamoring were soon slapped in the face. By the time the ambulance arrived, Xianxia was already covered in a fluffy blanket and holding a cup of hot flower tea. Jiang Chun had even stuffed a mango glutinous rice paste into his mouth. It was made of glutinous rice flour, wrapped in fresh mango as the filling, and rolled a few times in the coconut. It was soft and supple, sweet and delicious, and even one's mood became brighter after eating it. The doctor examined Xianxia and asked in surprise, "Young man, who set your bones? This technique is amazing." Bullet screen. Was this Dr. Bribe? Xianxia pointed at Xiangyi adorably. When the doctor saw that it was such a young girl, especially when he heard that the bone setting took only a few seconds, he was even more impressed. He gave Xiangyi a thumbs up and said, "Little girl, you're amazing. There are also old Chinese doctors in our hospital. If they watch the live broadcast, they will definitely want to have a good chat with you. You flatter me." Xiangyi's tone was indifferent. The doctor praised Xiangyi for a few minutes before he remembered something and said to Xianxia, "Take care of yourself and listen to her." The netizens were speechless. Don't other doctors say to drink more hot water? This doctor actually said to listen to her. Wow, this means that the doctor also recognizes Sister Yi's medical skills. The professionals have already stamped their names, so some fans should stop dancing. It's so awkward. To be honest, I just can't stand the actress Xiang pretending to be cool. Fine, I'll reluctantly say that she knows some medical skills, but she's not a Chinese medicine professional. How can she have a certificate? Without a certificate, she's practicing medicine illegally. Yeah, practicing medicine illegally is illegal. I don't mean anything else. I just think she needs to apologize for her mistakes. Smile, smile. Chapter 159. The bullet screen was filled with endless arguments. Some nosy people thought it was fun and posted a screenshot on Weibo. Due to the 2-under-1 roof tag, it slowly gained popularity. For a moment, the surfing netizens were dumbfounded. No, are these people under some witchcraft that reduces their intelligence? I'm F***king confused. What kind of confusing statement is this? Looking at these bullet screen comments really makes me happy. What illegal medical practice? They just know a proper term and use it indiscriminately. It didn't take long for the atmosphere in the live stream to return to normal. The reason was not that the trolls were incompetent, but rather, it was time to eat. Li Jinyu even teased, "It's time for the food live stream." Hello everyone, I'm a new director of the food live stream, Xiao Li. I have a full set of abs and a healthy appetite. Next, I'll show you today's lunch. The camera zoomed in on the dining table and zoomed in on the dishes one by one. The pan-fried steak was fragrant on the outside and tender on the inside. The steamed sea bass was smooth and delicious. The mutton braised with carrot soup was sweet but not greasy. The light shoshi pot was filled with beef slices and shrimp, as well as bamboo shoots, frozen tofu, spinach, broccoli, mung bean sprouts, and other vegetables. The boys from C7 stared in awe. Is this heaven? Xiangyi looked around and said, "Why are you all in a daze? Let's dig in." She thought the boys were afraid of affecting their figures and explained, "Today's food is very light, with little oil and salt. Try to choose foods that are low in calories and nutritious. You won't get fat if you eat in moderation." With her around, the atmosphere at the table was obviously much better than it had been in the morning. The boys were no longer so reserved and ate with gusto. Wow, this steak is delicious. The sea bass is so fresh. Vegetables dipped in grapefruit soy sauce is amazing. Shui bent her long legs slightly and tasted each dish in a relaxed and leisurely manner, like a gourmet enjoying a delicacy. Meanwhile, Xiangqi began, "Hey, Give me a bowl of rice. Hey, I don't want to cut the steak. Cut it for me. Small pieces and sprinkle some lemon juice on it. Hey, I want to drink soup. Give me more. You're raising fish at the bottom of a bowl. Who's going to drink enough? Xianxi's voice was soft and gentle. It's your bowl that's too big, Xianxia glared at her. Do you think I eat too much? I didn't. The viewers in the live stream were stunned by his actions. Sexy Hades has turned into a primary school chicken online. He's really fierce and cute. That Sundara Humph is so cute. Sister E is so obedient. Hades must be bullying her on purpose. Actually, I also want to steal her home and make her my little wife. No, you don't. Did you guys notice that Xiang only scooped some soup for Hades? Even Shurindi doesn't get such treatment. Is our Sure Sway Zai Zai unworthy? It's another day of hard work for the untimely CP fan looking for candy in the glass shards after the meal. Her brothers, who had agreed to eat only one bite each in the morning, all ate until they were full and sat in a row in the living room. Xianxia rushed to wash the dishes while Sure Sway didn't fight with him. She was just going to put the dishes in the dishwasher anyway. When Xianxia came out of the kitchen, he found his sister sighing while pinching the rabbit ears that had fallen off her jacket. Xianxia pretended to be cold and calm as he walked in front of her. With one hand in his pocket, he struck a pose. Beg me and I'll sew it for you, Xianxia said innocently. But I can sew it myself. Xianxia exploded and yelled fiercely. Hurry up and beg me. Otherwise, I won't sew it for you. Chapter 160. It's just a rabbit ear. To prove that she knew how to sew, Xianxia took out her sewing kit and gestured. Just a few stitches here, and there will do. The next second, Xianxia snatched the sewing kit from her hands. You're so clumsy. What if you prick yourself? The girl blinked and seemed to have understood something. She pleaded softly. Then, can you help me sew it? Under Xianxi's calm exterior, his heart was in turmoil. His sister is begging me. She's begging me. The top international fashion designer acted as if he had drunk fake alcohol. He skillfully threaded the needle and started to sew. The boys were speechless. They felt that Senior Hades' hands were meant for beating people up, not sewing needles, especially after seeing the senior climb a tree and then seeing him sew a rabbit's ear. She felt an inexplicable sense of dissonance. Sure Sway got up to get some water. When he passed by Xianxia, he naturally stuffed a pillow behind her waist. Thank you, brother, Xianxia thanked him. She hugged her knees and leaned back, obediently watching Xianxia sew. When Xianxia heard her call him brother, he almost pricked his own hand. Only then did he realize that his sister had not called him brother for the whole morning. Not even once. But she actually called Sure Sway brother. This was like acknowledging a thief as her brother. After all, when Xianxia was young, Sure Sway had taught him a lot of lessons. He couldn't beat him in a fight, nor could he outrun him. Other than crying and begging for mercy, there was nothing he could do. Xianxia gritted his teeth, bit the thread, and threw the jacket to the side. With the jacket on the girl's head, it looked like he was bullying Xianxia. Sure Sway immediately gave him a warning look. Xianxia instinctively trembled. Xianxia took off the jacket. The rabbit ear was firmly sewn on. The stitches were so fine that it was almost impossible to see. Her eyebrows curved slightly. Thank you. Xianxia was confused. That's it? It's gone? Where's the my dear, handsome brother after the thank you? If not, what about my dear brother? If not, what about her brother? The furious Xiang clan Chi wanted to flip the table. His gaze fell on the table. The light beige tablecloth was dotted with small flowers. It was very warm and idyllic, but it caused Xianxia to be seriously dissatisfied. He knocked on the table and sneered. What kind of lousy tablecloth is this? Terrible taste, a black hole in aesthetics, unbearably ugly. Xianxi's cherry lips parted slightly. This is what you gave me before. The atmosphere in the living room fell into a strange silence. The viewers in the live stream were laughing like crazy. Why is Sister E always so serious and funny? I pricked my own hand. Kikizi. I slapped my own face. To be honest, these two really do look like a couple. Their eyebrows are somewhat similar. This is what a husband and wife look like. Am I the only detective who has noticed the main point? Xianxia and Hades actually knew each other before. Xianxia was silent for half a minute, and then no one liked him when he put on his sunglasses. A real designer dares to question, deny, and overthrow themselves. Understand? Xianxia nodded cooperatively. Yes, yes. Very good. I'll get someone to send the latest fabric I dyed over now. I'll show you what real taste is. After pausing for a few seconds, Xianxia questioned angrily. Why haven't you said wow to me? Xianxia, wow. Show some emotion. Your wow is soulless. Xianxia. Chapter 161. A year had passed, but her brother was still. He hadn't grown up yet. The little girl was used to it as she coaxed. Her soft and sweet voice fell into Xianxi's ears, making him feel comfortable all over. He resisted the urge to smile and corrected her. You're still lacking a bit. I'll teach you, Xianxia. Xianxia. Yes, up and down come. I'll give you a tune. Do Raimi turn. The viewers who saw this scene in the live stream. What did my head fall? This was very clever. Hades' image is about to collapse. What's with the macho meme? Please enlighten me. Hades doesn't look like a muscular guy. It's from a fashion design documentary. Hades showed off his tailoring, embroidery, and other skills in the documentary. The best part was that the entire documentary had many clips of him stepping on a sewing machine. As soon as the clip of him stepping on a sewing machine appeared, the comments would flood the screen. This is what a macho man should do. Over time, it became a meme. On the carpet next to them, the C7 brothers were lying in a row on the couch. The carefree Xianxia seemed to have found a new toy, treating his younger brothers like human spring beds. It jumped from one brother's abdominal muscles to the other brother's abdominal muscles, jingling the bells on its neck. Comments. These abs are so... Ahem, this kitten is so cute. Wah. I've chased after idols for 10 years, but I can't even compare to a kitten. What do you guys know? Xianxia is playing music. When the kittens paws step on different abdominal muscles, it will form different tones. The sound of the bell is a chord. Rounding it up, this is a symphony, sisters. To the person in front, I don't believe you. Green tea axe. I hope you and I are an endless song, doghead. Unlike other fast-paced variety shows, the live broadcast of Two Under One Roof felt slow and lazy, but it was very comfortable to watch. However, the number of comments was a lot less than during dinner time. Those viewers who felt that they had been slapped in the face by Xianxia started to come out again. So, you're still not going to apologize for practicing medicine illegally? Smile. These are two different things. She can save people, but she can't lie. Otherwise, if everyone is like her, how can there be trust between people? Without a TCM qualification certificate, you're not qualified to practice medicine. What kind of mentality was that? I really take my hat off to him. I'm afraid that the pretentious demon has drugged the food. So many guests have been bewitched to the point that their brains are all messed up. There were too many comments like this, and some of the audience couldn't help but follow the trend and clamor for Xianxia to give an explanation. Li Jinyu found out about the direction of the live stream. If it had been the first day of the live stream, he would have definitely been influenced by the audience. However, after interacting with Xianxia, he felt that the little girl was trustworthy. In fact, he felt that Sister E was too low-key. She always humbled herself by saying that she only knew a little and was mediocre. Sister E couldn't be bothered to slap him in the face. Li Jinyu asked Xianxia directly and confidently, Sister E, the netizens are very interested in your medical skills. Can you briefly explain it to everyone? Before Xianxia could speak, Xianxia sneered and said, What's that talk about? She has been learning prescriptions from my grandfather since she was 7 or 8 years old. In Western medicine terms, she has 10 years of clinical experience. Isn't it normal to treat a child? Chapter 162. Little brat Xianxia. He suspected that Senior Hades wanted to call him a little brat, but he changed his words because he was afraid that the system would ban him from the live stream. 10 years. Even though he was mentally prepared, Li Jinyu was still shocked to hear this number. If a medical student graduated at the age of 25 or 26, they would have to be in their 30s to have 10 years of clinical experience. In the traditional understanding of ordinary people, doctors were bound to be more capable as they got older. After all, age meant more experience. However, Xianxia had completely broken everyone's understanding. 7 or 8 years old. Most people were still in the first grade of primary school, but Xianxia had already started learning how to prescribe medicine. Xianxia said calmly, "Yes, I've been learning for more than 10 years. I got my Chinese medicine license in my first year of university." Li Jinyu, "I see Sister E is awesome." Jiang Chun, who was half a beat slower, was speechless. I'm the best." However, Li Jinyu had underestimated how difficult it was to deal with the haters. I circled the keywords. Prescribing medicine at the age of 7 or 8 and getting her medical license in her first year of university. But she herself admitted that she studied agriculture in university. That's a contradiction. She's exposed herself, isn't she? Why is Hades so protective of her? If she's treating patients at the age of 7 or 8, wouldn't she be practicing medicine illegally? How ridiculous. She's indeed a pretentious spirit. According to her logic, I'll graduate from Tsinghua University while studying in the capital. Some people couldn't wait any longer and went on Weibo to criticize Xianxia. This time, in addition to the pretentious spirit, they also gave Xianxia the nickname of a liar. There were a few female celebrities who were very similar to Xianxia. Seeing that her popularity had been rising recently, they felt a sense of crisis. Hence, they hired an army of netizens to put out Xianxia's rising popularity. The weakness of lying wasn't that big of a problem, but as long as the rhythm was right, it could easily ruin her popularity and cause the public to hate Xianxia. Hence, many onlookers appeared in the comment section. Congratulations to Xianxia for winning the Nobel Prize in Chinese medicine. Practicing medicine at the age of 7, even Hua Tuo reincarnated would have to call you a divine doctor. You've all misunderstood. Liar is actually a witch doctor who specializes in casting voodoo spells on men. If you don't believe me, just look at Shi Yingdi, Hades, the C7 brothers, and director Li Jinyu. Which one of them doesn't protect her from the bottom of their hearts? When the term #Xianxia liars rushed to the end of the hot search, a blogger who did medical science suddenly posted on Weibo, "A medical knowledge every day. The Chinese medicine practitioner qualification examination in our country is an industry admission examination. How do you understand it?" Simply put, it was to evaluate whether you had the knowledge and ability to work as a doctor. Generally speaking, applicants must be Chinese medicine-related majors, and they need to do an internship in a hospital or healthcare center. That is to say, you can't just have theory, but also practice. However, there was a system of apprenticeship in Chinese medicine in China. That was to say, the master taught the apprentice and the father taught the son. Therefore, there was a special examination method in China. That was the traditional medical apprentice qualification examination method. To put it in the simplest way, it was, you have a master who is an old Chinese medicine practitioner. You have studied under your master for more than 3 years. If your master thinks you are qualified, then you can take the examination. After passing the examination, you will be qualified to practice medicine. When this Weibo post was posted, no one cared about it at first, until a message popped up. Shi Sui V reposted the Weibo post. Chapter 163. Shi Sui had more than 10 million fans on Weibo, and within a few minutes, the number of comments had exceeded 1,000. Brother, you finally remember the password. I'm going to make a bold guess that he's reposting it for Sister E. Damn, I've finished reading the popular science article. Does that mean Xianxia is really qualified to practice medicine? Shi Sui's fans were not the only ones who were shocked. With his influence, his Weibo post soon made it to the top of the trending list, and in the blink of an eye, it had reached the top 10. #Xianxia liars disappeared and was replaced by #Xianxia traditional Chinese medicine #. The haters were dumbfounded. They didn't expect that not only did Xianxia have medical skills, but she was also qualified to practice medicine. She wasn't bragging at all, but merely stating the facts. There were also many passers-by who were curious. What's the background of this Xianxia girl? What's her relationship with Shi Sui? Xianxia's fans began to explain to the passers-by, with a sense of pride, that their idol had been discovered. Our Sister E is just an ordinary little fairy. Learn more about her culinary skills. Learn more about her 3-string electric guitar. Learn more about her prescription for acupuncture and bone setting at the age of 7. Treasure Girl Xiang, Red Heart Barefaced Beauty Xiang, Red Heart Gourmet Xiang, Red Heart Musical Instrument Xiang, Red Heart Traditional Chinese Medicine Xiang, Red Heart. The spontaneously posted comments were like droplets of water, converging into an unstoppable trend. The relatively unpopular fans of the untimely CP also rose up in the banner of love pops. Various edited short videos, Q&A maps, and doujinshi were all seen by the vast number of netizens who surfed the internet and subconsciously gained a large number of fans. In the living room of the manor, Shui tapped on the screen a few times with his slender fingers and put away his cell phone. He didn't mention a single word about reposting the Weibo post. It was as if he had done something insignificant and not worth mentioning. The man pushed his gold-rimmed glasses up with his finger, and his gaze fell on Xianxia. His temperament seemed to be immersed in the spring water of March, gentle and soft. He was wearing a simple dark gray shirt with the sleeves neatly folded in two. The muscles on his forearms were smooth, and the black dial of his watch outlined the changes of the stars and the moon in the northern hemisphere, outlining his refined and ascetic temperament. Regardless of whether it was still or moving, every frame looked like it was living in a pictorial. Bullet screen. From the trending searches on Weibo, why are the variety show guests either sitting or lying down? New untimely couple fan reporting for duty. He's giving out sweets as soon as he arrives. The wife-obsessed Shuringdi. Ah, if you didn't mention it, I wouldn't have noticed. Shui really seems to be looking at Sister E. She's knocked. Ding-ling, Xianxi's assistant, was extremely efficient. He delivered the fabric as quickly as possible. Mr. Hades, do you have any new inspiration? As soon as the assistant entered, he ignored the staff of the variety show and was so excited that he was about to cry. If you have any instructions, I'm at your service. Xianxia said coldly. No need. I'll do it myself. The assistant's voice trembled. What are you going to design? A dress? An evening gown? Dresses were Xianxi's best and most spiritual designs. You reminded me, Xianxia said thoughtfully. In addition to the tablecloth, I have to make a few more aprons. The cutest sister should be paired with the prettiest apron. The assistant. The netizens. Chapter 164. A few minutes later, the sound of a sewing machine could be heard in the live stream. Xianxia tied up the long hair on his forehead into a small ponytail, revealing his clear and beautiful eyebrows. He was serious and focused on adding white lace to the cut tablecloth. In the live stream, this is what a macho man should do. F***CK. Hades is so skillful with his hands. Our Hades' professional skills must be praised to the max. He's proficient in tailoring, sewing, and embroidery. Why does the assistant look so dazed? She doesn't look very smart. Roman, who was Xianxi's assistant, watched as his designer cut the precious fabric into tablecloths. That was a preparation for future works. Some designers would use ready-made fabric from the market, but Hades was different. Every piece of his work was designed by himself, and sometimes he would even dye it himself. The raw materials, craftsmanship, and dyes used were all the best in the industry, but now they were being made into tablecloths. With every tablecloth he made, Roman's heart bled. He closed his eyes and pretended not to feel heartache. Xianxia made 7 or 8 tablecloths and couldn't stop at all. It was Xianxia who stopped him. Enough, it's really enough. Even if you change one every day, it'll last for a long time. Okay, let's make these first. Xianxia was still a little unsatisfied. Hey, I suddenly have an idea. Roman opened his eyes, unable to hide his excitement. Was he going to design a new piece of work? Was he going to witness the birth of a genius piece of art again? The next second, this lace will definitely look good with a creamy yellow apron. Xianxia pointed at the various fabrics and accessories Roman had brought. Since you already have an apron, you should also use a matching hairband. Aren't sausage hairbands very popular now? Jiang Chan raised his hand weakly. Not sausage, Xianxia. Then what is it? Sausage? Jiang Chen carefully explained. Last time, The makeup artist told me that it's called a large intestine hairband because it resembles a pig's large intestine. That sounds disgusting. Xianxia looked disgusted, then turned to Xiangyi and said, "Hey, I want to eat stir-fried peppers with intestines tonight." Okay. So Xianxia went back to work happily. Thus, Roman closed his eyes again 2 hours later. Roman cooperated with Xianxia to make more than a dozen small aprons of various styles. Some had lace edges, some had large bows, and some had small furry balls. There were also dozens of hair rings. Her hair rings were all wavy like clouds. There were floral patterns, plaid patterns, pure colors, silk, velvet. Every one of them was exquisitely made. There was a bunch of rainbow farts in a live stream. Oh my god, Hades is too good. All of them are so girly. Yes, I want to have it. I want to buy it all. Host, quickly give me the link. Doghead. A big shot is a big shot indeed. Even the little things he made are so beautiful. QAQ, I'm so envious of Xiangyi. Xianxia was very satisfied with the finished products. Holding them all in his arms, he pretended to take a stroll to the kitchen door and coughed twice. Xiangyi, who was preparing ingredients, turned around. Seeing that it was him, her eyes curved. She trotted over to him and tiptoed to stuff a small biscuit into his mouth. Is it good? The girl smiled sweetly and gently. Xianxi's Adam's apple bobbed. He forgot to chew and swallowed the biscuit directly. Chapter 165. His eyes met with his sister's expectant gaze. Xianxia, before he could taste anything, his throat was already sore. The man was expressionless and cold. It's all right, as long as you like it. Xiangyi turned around to get the tray. I just baked 2 plates. I'll bring them to the living room. For those brats and that old man to eat. Xianxia blocked the door and refused to let her out. Hey, do you want these? Only then did Xiangyi notice the large pile of hair rings he was holding. Girls had no resistance to such things. Her eyes lit up. Cute. Did you make them for me? Xianxia said arrogantly. Don't flatter yourself. I just made a few to match the apron. This is a designer's pursuit of perfection. If you want them, exchange them with cookies. Xiangyi blinked. Seeing that both his hands were occupied, she picked up a small cookie. Bend down. I'll feed you. Short legs are so troublesome. Xianxi's tone was disdainful, but his waist bent down honestly. The girl fed him a small cookie. It was a very common cookie, but it was especially delicious after being baked by her. It was sweet and mellow, golden and soft, with a rich milky taste mixed with the aroma of sesame seeds. The delicate texture made him want to eat another piece. Xianxia declared childishly, These hair rings are all yours, and these cookies are all mine. But no buts. I want to eat all to myself. Xianxia said fiercely. Xiangyi looked up and asked innocently, Then can I have a piece? She had been baking for so long, but she hadn't tried it yet. Whoosh! Xianxi's sister-obsessed heart was struck. He raised his chin. Since you're begging me, I'll reluctantly let you have a taste. The live stream was still going on. When the netizens saw this scene, the real-time comments instantly surged. This is hard to understand. I feel like Sister E is unconditionally good to Hades. The untimely CP fans are heartbroken, and they even want to cheat on the two of them. To be honest, Xiang E is so gentle that she could be a CP with anyone. Wasn't she with Yin Nai's younger brother? What's a little puppy? I like hunks like Hades who are sexy and strong enough to step on a sewing machine. Xianxia stuffed all the hairpins into his sister's pocket, and the siblings finished off a plate of biscuits in the kitchen. In the Xiang family, not to mention eating alone, even a bite of food had to be snatched. Now that he could eat alone with his sister, Xianxia was simply too happy. He hummed a little tune as he returned to the living room, showing off to everyone. Xiangyi made biscuits as asterisk at asterisk 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 SS. It's just for me. Everyone. Roman was sobbing softly as he huddled around a pile of leftover tailoring materials. He had been with Xianxia for many years and knew about the relationship between Xianxia and Xiangyi. It was precisely because he knew that he felt bad for Xianxia. She was a woman who ruined his career. Forget it if he kept cutting ties with her. Why do you have to waste these precious materials on her? She wasn't worth it. She wasn't worth it at all. God, I, Roman, am praying to you sincerely. Please make the woman who bewitched Hades stay away from him. At this moment, a sweet aroma wafted into his nose. He subconsciously looked towards the source of the aroma. A young girl wearing an apricot-colored plush jacket came out of the kitchen with a plate of golden egg tarts. Boom. Roman's world began to collapse. Oh God, is this woman a banshee? Why am I bewitched by this aroma too? Chapter 166. At that moment, Roman was reminded of the mythical sirens who used their heavenly songs to bewitch sailors in the deep sea, causing their ships to sink on the rocks. In his eyes, the fair and gentle Asian girl in front of him was equivalent to a siren. The opposite of the heavenly voice was the sinful food in her hand. It's just a few egg tarts. France's desserts are the best in the world. He absolutely had to stay rational. Xianxia felt like he had been struck by lightning. Apart from biscuits, my sister actually made egg tarts. And it's not just for me. He watched as his sister gave one to each of the C7 brats, and two to that old man, Xianxia. She even politely asked his assistant if he wanted to try. Roman thought to himself, I'm not eating this. I'd rather die than eat this. Roman's body took the egg tarts with both hands and opened his mouth as wide as he could, biting off half of the egg tarts in one bite. The crust was crispy while the egg was soft. The crispy crust blended perfectly with the smooth filling. The aroma of milk, egg, and caramel blended together to create a sweet but not greasy taste. His brain felt like it had exploded with fireworks, going from brilliant to blank. It took him a long time to come to his senses. Roman looked at the half-egg tart in his hand in disbelief. How can this be? How can this be? How can there be such delicious egg tarts in this world? In a trance, he thought, perhaps the sailors were willing to be bewitched by the siren and sacrifice themselves to the sea by striking the rocks so that they can listen to the sounds of nature forever. Roman couldn't bear to eat the remaining half of the egg tart in the same extravagant way as before. He carefully bit off a little bit with his lips, and the wonderful texture instantly captured all of his taste buds. Roman drew a cross in front of his chest piously. Oh God, it turns out that being bewitched by a siren is such a blissful thing. Amen. The boys had also started eating. The kids ate everything with great relish and kept praising them, making the viewers in the live stream truly envious. Why are they eating again? Oh, I want afternoon tea too. I didn't like Xianxia at first, but when I thought about how the kids can only eat their fill for a day on this show, I couldn't hate her anymore. Sisters, I'm here again. The little brothers and the little assistant only have one egg tart, but Xianxia has 2 egg tarts. 2. At this time, Xianxia walked in front of Xianxia. Xianxia turned his face away and ignored her. There's still 3 egg tarts. Can I give them all to you? The girl's tone was gentle, as if she was coaxing a child. The haters finally found a chance to criticize, so they immediately started typing on their keyboards. Here it comes again. Are the Xiang women the type to please? You're always trying to please others. It's precisely because there are women who don't see themselves as humans, but as vassals of men that women have no status in this society. There's a lamentable ideology that objectifies women and treats them as objects. The most lamentable thing is that women objectify themselves. The value of a woman's existence isn't to please others. But what about Xianxia? How many people are watching this live stream? How many underage women have she set a wrong example for? These people were feeling smug in front of their screens, thinking that they had managed to control the flow of the show. However, they heard the girl's gentle voice. Brother, don't ignore me. Her fair and slender fingers tugged at the man's sleeve and swayed gently. Don't be angry anymore, okay? Chapter 167. Xianxia glanced in Xianxia's direction. The boys, who were munching on egg tarts, were dumbfounded. Especially Jiang Chun, who had seen Xianxia teach Sisterling a lesson, was so shocked that his eyes widened. Isn't Sister valiant and strong? Who is this coquettish girl? Everyone heard a complete sentence. And in Xianxia's mind, 2 words were circulating endlessly. Brother, brother, his slow brain finally reacted. Xianxia stood up and raised his voice. What did you call me? Xianxia was a little helpless. If you don't like it, I won't call you that again. Perhaps from an outsider's point of view, the blood ties between family members couldn't be severed. However, it was often the most painful when family members complained about the harm done to them. In the past year, the person who had taken over her body had ruined her third brother's career. There was no doubt about that. A mistake was a mistake. No one had the right to forgive on behalf of her third brother. Looking at the girl who was as cautious as a frightened bird, Shui frowned deeply. He had seen Xianxia in many different ways. She was bright and beautiful, gentle, confident, arrogant, willful, drunk, crying, but he had never seen her show such a timid and humble expression in front of anyone. The comments in the live stream surged. Am I hearing things? Why is she calling him brother? Didn't Sister E say in an interview that she was an only child? Does anyone know what Hades' Chinese name is? I have a bold guess. Haha, it's obvious that this is a premeditated script. It's just a fake couple. Do they really think this is some kind of food show? Love and drama are the most interesting things to talk about in variety shows. Xianxia took a few deep breaths before he could adjust his heartbeat. Brother? He sneered. You still know that I'm your brother? Xianxia whispered. I've always known him. Xianxia looked up. Brother, I was wrong. I'm sorry. She didn't know how to explain the matter of transmigration. After all, it sounded beyond the reasonable understanding of ordinary people. It was too much like a lie that she made up to find an excuse. Therefore, Xianxia decided to explain later when she had the chance. Now, she just hoped that her brother wouldn't be angry anymore. Although third brother was childish, immature, he was really, really good. He would make her dresses, read her poems, teach her how to dance, and make up fairy tales under the moonlight. When inspiration struck, he would draw stacks of manuscripts and paste them all over the walls and windows. Then, he would pull her and show them off crazily. Third brother had a sharper and more sensitive personality than ordinary people. He was also more easily affected by emotions than ordinary people. When he was angry, it was very difficult for him to have design inspiration. Xianxia stared at her. The corners of the girl's eyes were red. She felt wronged and weak, and her eyes were filled with tears. The look in his eyes was different. In the beginning, Xianxia had only suspected that his sister had been possessed by something strange, or that she had split into two personalities. But now, he was 100% sure that the sister he had met in the past year wasn't his sister at all. He said fiercely, Do you think I'll forgive you just because you say sorry, you make some delicious food, and you call me brother? Xianxia shrank back. Her starry eyes dimmed as she sniffed. Oh, the next second, she heard her brother roar loudly and decisively. I will. Chapter 168. The living room was so quiet that only the faint sound of the live stream equipment could be heard. Xianxia raised her head and stared blankly at Xianxia. After Xianxia finished yelling, he realized in hindsight that he was embarrassed. His ears burned, and he ground his teeth. He felt a sense of humiliation turning into anger. But when he met his sister's clear eyes, his anger instantly dissipated. He grabbed the girl's soft hand and shoved the corner of his shirt at her domineeringly. Xianxia's face was filled with confusion. Xianxia said fiercely, Hurry up and call me Big Brother. Don't you know how to coax me when I'm angry? In the live stream, the viewers who saw this scene were dumbfounded. Why was this plot completely different from what they had expected? This plot doesn't play by the rules. Hades is too cute. He's devilish on the outside, but arrogant on the inside. I love him. The interaction between these two is too confusing. They don't look like a couple. What's their relationship? Those who say our sister E is sucking up to Hades, open your eyes and see clearly who's sucking up to whom. Hades was clearly the one who made sister E an apron and a hair tie first. Xianxia's emotions were complicated. She gripped the corner of her brother's shirt tightly, her voice tinged with a slight sob. You don't blame me anymore? The C7 boys didn't know what she meant, but Shui and Roman did. Especially Roman. He had witnessed the birth of Hades' genius creations, and had also witnessed them being devoured and destroyed by the flames. How could he forgive her so easily? But thinking of that delicious egg tart just now. Roman felt that he could forgive her, just a little bit, of course. This woman would have to make up for it with sincere remorse and practical actions in the future. I know it wasn't you, Xianxia said in a voice that only the two of them could hear. Xianxia froze. She thought that even if she explained, her brother wouldn't believe her. However, she didn't expect that before she could even explain, her brother had already seen through the truth and chose to trust her. Seeing that his sister's eyes were as red as a rabbit's, as if she couldn't even hold back her tears, Xianxia resumed his fierce tone. Idiot, don't you even know how to act cute? Do you need me to teach you step by step? Xianxia. Okay. Xianxia. All right, I'll show you. He pinched his throat and imitated the shy tone of a little girl. Big brother is the best in the world. Brother is the most handsome man in the world. C7's little brothers. Where was the arrogant and cold senior Hades from this morning? The audience in the live stream room? Hades, I'm just kidding myself. I want to see Sister E act coquettishly. I've already started recording. Sure enough, when a man acts spoiled, women have nothing to do with him. Xianxia blinked her eyes, which seemed to be filled with moonlight, gentle and clear. She tugged at the corner of her brother's shirt and said softly, Big brother, you're the best. Whoosh, bang. Xianxi's world began to explode with fireworks. My sister is indeed the cutest in the world. I've always been the best. Rubbing his sister's little head with his large palm, he was suddenly filled with inspiration. He turned around and picked up a pen and paper before kneeling on the ground and drawing. The comments in the live stream room were full of speculation. Is Hades going to design an apron again? Ha ha! Roman leaned over to take a look and immediately blocked the camera, tears of excitement gushing out of his eyes. A work of art. This was a real work of art. Chapter 169. Everyone knew that inspiration was not easy to come by, let alone a world-class designer like Xianxia. Everyone tacitly chose to remain silent, and even the comments in the live stream had decreased significantly. Chill. Let's not disturb Hades. And Jing, don't whisper. Super quiet. This is so immersive, I'm getting nervous. It's been a year. Can Hades come up with a new design? Xianxia had a strong foundation in art. With just a few strokes, he sketched out a set of clothes. He casually tossed the draft paper aside and continued with the next one. The inspiration that had dried up for a long time seemed to be inexhaustible at this moment. Countless wonderful ideas were constantly surging out. Li Jinyu asked the cameraman to change the angle so that he could capture everyone in the living room without capturing Xianxi's manuscript. The C7 members covered their mouths one by one, not even daring to breathe. Xianxia was also very nervous, but Sure Sui was the calmest. She stuffed a soft pillow in her hand, which the little girl hugged tightly. Looking at the exquisite design drafts, tears began to fall from her eyes. This was a miracle. No, it was a miracle. At this moment, the muse of art kissed Xianxi's fingertips, and the banshee of the deep sea prostrated herself at his feet, wholeheartedly submitting to him as she played the sounds of nature for him. This process could be described as slow, but it could also be described as fast. About 20 minutes later, Xianxia threw away his pen and lay on the ground, exhaling deeply. His brain was in pain, but his mind was extremely excited. Xianxia hurriedly threw away the pillow and knelt beside him, massaging his temples and the space between his eyebrows. With her professional massage technique, Xianxia felt his headache ease a lot, followed by deep exhaustion. He rubbed his head against the girl's palm and coquettishly said, "Remember to make me stir-fried pig intestines with hot peppers. I also want pudding and..." Before he could finish his sentence, his thick eyelashes drooped and he fell into a deep sleep. Xianxia, in a live stream, he fell asleep just like that? Amazing. Why does he still remember pig intestines? I'm dying of laughter. Actually, I can understand. It's really tiring to use your brain too much. Who can stand the coquettish Hades? Sister E, please satisfy him. Roman quickly sorted out Xianxi's manuscripts and then habitually took out a blanket, covered the man, and carefully tucked him in. Not to mention the ground, In order to find inspiration, a certain someone had even slept in a tree. Don't worry, everyone. You can talk and laugh as you wish. It won't affect Hades. He won't wake up even if there's thunder or an earthquake. Roman bowed. Now that I have the design drafts, there's still a lot of things to do. I'll take my leave first. Li Jinyu arranged for the staff to send him off. The live broadcast continued. As Roman had said, Xianxia slept like a log. It was drizzling outside, so it wasn't suitable for filming outside. Fortunately, the production team had already prepared a backup plan for the guests to play games in the living room. Before the game begins, please write down a punishment plan. Whoever loses will draw lots later. In a live comments, ha ha ha, the production team is too good, Xianxia casually wrote down a nursery rhyme. She was a little curious about what Shui had written next to her. Nudging his elbow, she asked, "What did you write?" Shui chuckled and directly showed her the note. On it were two words written in bold strokes. Vinegar. The two of us are too cruel. Xianxia sighed. Little did she know that the boys from C7 were going crazy. Chapter 170. The camera zoomed in on everyone's notes, allowing the audience to see what each person had written. Shui, jealous. Xianxia, singing nursery rhymes. Live comments. These two have the same style. Elementary, school-level punishment. However, it was different when it came to the C7 boys. Xianxia, girl group dance. Jiang, take ugly photos and post them on Weibo. Live comments. Haha, it's obvious that these boys have cheated each other a lot. Zai, mommy really wants to tell you through the screen that you can lose this game too. WTF, Kai's writing is too cruel. Staying in a confined space to listen to ghost stories? That's too scary. After collecting everyone's paper slips, Li Jinyu smiled and announced the game's content. This game is called All Villains. In each round, there will be a princess, 2 killers, and a knight. The rest of the people will be civilians. The killers must kill the princess or survive to the last round to win. The knight needs to protect the princess. You can vote in each round. If all the killers are voted out, the princess will win. Jiang raised his hand. What about the civilians? Do they protect the princess? Li Jinyu. Who said civilians must protect the princess? They can also protect the killers. The guests. Live comments. Fine, the program team really knows how to play. In other words, civilians can be good or bad. Xianxia rubbed his chin. So every round is a free-for-all? That's interesting. Li Jinyu took out the cards prepared by the program team. Let's try it out first. There's no punishment for this round. After one round, everyone understood the rules. Okay, then the loser will have to accept the punishment. Li Jinyu grinned, looking like he was enjoying the show. After drawing the cards, the cameraman took a close-up of each person's card. Xianxia had drawn the princess, Jiang and Xianxia had drawn the killers, and the knight card was in Shui's hand. The first round began. I'm a good person. Jiang was obviously not good at lying. It took him a long time to say, "Really, you guys have to believe me." The younger brothers said, "Of course we believe you." Then they all voted for Jiang. In the live stream, "I'm so angry I'm trembling in the cold. This little lousy group has no team spirit. Pure teasing. Don't argue, you're right." Zai Chan rubbed his head. "Mommy knew you were an idiot. Such a dangerous game is not suitable for you." In comparison, Xianxia is so calm. He even voted for Jiang. Go see Zai. Kill Princess Duck. Xianxia relied on her strong mental fortitude to survive 2 more rounds. However, she had never played this type of game before. She was clearly on the right side, but she was suspected of being the villain. Xianxia had a rough idea of what was going on. He said, "Sister, you're the killer, aren't you? Everyone, follow me and vote for her." Everyone voted. Shui was the only one who hadn't voted yet. Xianxia urged, "Senior Shu, hurry up and vote." Shui pushed his glasses and looked at Xianxia with gentle eyes. "Aren't you going to beg me?" His deep and mellow voice was both sultry and seductive. Xianxia muttered softly, "But you only have 1 vote. It's the same no matter who you vote for." "That's true." Shui chuckled. "Since we can't live together, let's die together." With that, he casually pointed at someone, looking lazy. Game over. The killer wins. The princess and the knights have been eliminated. Next, please draw the game's punishment. Chapter 171. Li Jinyu announced the results of the game, sounding a little smug. He hadn't expected to see Daddy Sure fail in his lifetime. How satisfying. He secretly flipped through the punishment slips. Girl group dance, ugly photos, and posting them on Weibo were nothing. The most ruthless punishment was to wear women's clothing. Imagining Daddy Sure in women's clothing, Li Jinyu couldn't help but laugh out loud. The comment section of the live stream was also filled with laughter. Director, you're laughing too loudly. This director is really poisonous. I can't help but laugh when he laughs. I'm looking forward to seeing what punishment Xianxia will get. I must be a fake fan. Shui was the first to draw a card, the corners of her mouth twitching slightly. Xianxia also drew a card, and her eyes widened after reading it. Is this even possible? Teachers, please show us what you've drawn. The camera panned over. Xianxia had drawn a ghost story in a confined space, while Shui lived up to expectations and drew a girl group dance. Live comments. Ha ha ha. A refined and abstinent person like Xianxia is going to dance a girl group dance? I bet this will be a trending topic. How do I dance a girl group dance? Shui asked helplessly. Xianxia, Chun, show it to Senior Sure. The others followed suit. Yes, Chun, let's go. Let's welcome our dance director, Chunzi. Jiang Chun had a silly look on his face. Oh, okay. He obediently danced for a while. After all, he had a solid foundation in dancing, and even a girl group dance would look good. In a live stream, the fans of C7 were extremely satisfied. Our silly Chunzi didn't even know he was cheated 2,333. As expected of all villains, their little brothers are so entertaining. I'm Jiang Chen's fan now. He was so cold and expressionless in Heartbeat, which was boring. I didn't expect him to be so cute in Two Under One Roof. After watching the girl group dance, Shui rubbed her forehead. Can we swap? Xianxia, I don't know how to dance either. Although she had a bunch of weird skills. But girl group dancing. I'm sorry, this question is really out of my scope. Li Jinyu didn't mind the drama. Since Sister E doesn't agree to change, then Father, do you want to choose the same one as Sister E? Listening to ghost stories in a confined space with Sister E. Wow. The younger brothers began to whistle. However, there were polarized comments in a live stream. Someone give the director a drumstick. Shocking. The director took the lead and started eating candies. Let's go. Is the program crew crazy? What if the vase fairy secretly takes advantage of Xianxia? Isn't this disgusting? Why do they have to force a CP? Even if they're going to form a CP, they should at least form a CP of equal social status. Okay? Movies, TV series, music, which one of them could she bring out as a representative work? No. So get lost. In reality, Shui's eyelids drooped lazily. She looked indifferent, as if she didn't care about the punishment. He asked Xianxia in a low voice, can we? Xianxia didn't think much of it. One person might be scared to listen to a ghost story, but two people might treat it as a joke. She answered softly. A group of young and playful brothers laughed and pushed the two of them into the utility room. They played the ghost story on the Bluetooth sound system before locking the door firmly. In a live stream, there were not as many fans of the untimely CP as Shui's fans, but the comments instantly filled the entire screen. The ceremony is complete. Send them to the bridal chamber. Congratulations to the two newlyweds for having a baby soon. Untimely is locked. Chapter 172. Usually, the two of them wouldn't even make eye contact during the live stream, but at this moment, they were both locked in the utility room. The fans of the couple were overjoyed as if they were celebrating the new year, wishing they could set off 100,000 firecrackers. The only regret was that there was no image and they could only listen to the sound. The dimly lit utility room wasn't large to begin with, and with the addition of two people, it seemed even more cramped. The Bluetooth speaker was playing a ghost story. Late one night, the husband returned home only to find that his wife had disappeared. He said, "Honey, Stop playing hide-and-seek with me. I see you. He yanked open the closet, but it was empty. However, when he looked at the window, there was a woman's face outside. Xianxia walked past Shui and fumbled around the wall to find the light switch. The two of them were already close to each other, and the faint scent of gardenias from her hair wafted to the tip of his nose. Shui's Adam's apple bobbed slightly. Have you changed your shampoo? No. I'm used to switching between bottles. Xianxia answered gently. She happened to find the light switch and pressed it. The light bulb above her head sizzled and flickered as if it would go out at any time. For some reason, there was a hint of fear. However, the story continued on the speaker. The wife couldn't be found in the surveillance camera either. It was as if she had evaporated into thin air. Xianxia said nonchalantly, "The husband in this story may have been lying. Although we can't find a living person, that doesn't mean we can't find a dead one. Instead of worrying about ghosts, we might as well search the fridge and reservoir." The netizens in the live stream were dumbfounded. The next second, they heard Shui's gentle voice. In the movies I've seen before, there are people who hide corpses in the walls or wax figures. Huh? What movie? Think about it. F***CK. I feel a chill down my spine. Can the two of you respect this story? Where's the plot where I imagine Sister throwing herself into Shui's arms out of fear? In reality, the two of them talked about horror movies for a long time and completely ignored the ghost story that was playing on the stereo. Xianxia was a little tired from standing. She pulled out an old chair and wanted to sit down. However, she didn't expect that it would cause a chain reaction. The pile of things on the table toppled over like dominoes. A warm hand grabbed her hat and pulled her to his side. "Be careful." "Thank you." After Xianxia thanked him, she suddenly thought of something and asked nervously, "Did my ear fall off?" Shui chuckled and raised his hand to pinch her two little ears. "Still here." "No, it's the rabbit ears my brother sewed for me. If I lose them, he'll be angry again." Xianxia put on the hat and touched the top of her head. She was relieved when she found that the rabbit ears were still there. It seemed that her brother's sewing skills were still very good. Shui's eyes were deep and dark. After putting on the furry hat, the girl's fair face seemed even more petite. One of her rabbit ears stood up while the other was half-folded. He couldn't resist the urge and broke off the girl's other ear. Xianxia wanted to avoid him, but after the debris fell, the space became even more cramped. Her back hit the wall, and there was no way out. The girl protested softly. "Stop pinching." Shui, on the other hand, seemed to have found a new toy. He stuck the rabbit ears up and folded them back down, having a lot of fun. Xianxia bit her lip. Are you interested in me?" Shui paused in his actions. However, he heard the latter half of the girl's sentence. "Where's my coat?" She generously said, "Can I lend it to you?" Chapter 173. Shui didn't respond for a while, and simply looked down at her with a half-smile. Afraid that he would misunderstand, Xianxia explained, "It's not that I don't want to give you a new one, but there's only one of this in the world, so this jacket was her brother's first piece for practice. She had been wearing it for a long time and treasured it so much that she couldn't bear to throw it away." "So you can't bear to part with it?" Shui's voice was languid, and there was a hint of abstinence in it after he deliberately lowered his voice. He raised his hand to adjust his loose tie, and his upturned peach blossom eyes widened into a smile. "It's okay. You can lend it to me." Xianxia was a little surprised, but she quickly regained her composure, thinking to herself, "It seems that he really likes this jacket." It couldn't be helped. Her brother's designs were the best in the world. Who could resist? In the live stream, "Shui, are you going to blink when you're threatened?" The pretentious spirit is at it again, and it's the only one in the world. "Blarg, director, open the door. I want to see Shui in women's clothing." "I'm greedy. I want to see Shui in women's clothing and dance in a girl group. Haha." Coincidentally, the story in the stereo had also ended. The door was opened. The naive boys began to jeer. "Sister, lend the jacket to Senior Sure." Xianxia looked at Shui and confirmed with him again. You really want to wear it? Huh? You're not going back on your word, are you?" Shui's thin lips curled into a teasing smile. Xianxia took off her jacket and handed it to him. There was still some warmth left on the jacket, which was warm and vaguely ambiguous. Shui didn't feel embarrassed at all and calmly put on the girl's fluffy jacket. The jacket was a loose-fitting style, and on the tall and thin man, except for the short sleeves, it was surprisingly suitable. Li Jianyu, who was secretly laughing, suddenly couldn't laugh anymore. He thought that Daddy sure would be embarrassed in women's clothing, but F***CK. Shui. Oh, it looks pretty good. He calmly put on his hat and put his hands in his pockets. His peach blossom eyes were filled with a seductive smile. Thank you, Sister E in the live stream. If you wear our Sister Yi's clothes, you'll be one of Sister Yi's people. Shuringdi is so manly. His shirt with bunny ears, shark me. The jacket is so cute. Taobao used image recognition to search, but there really isn't a similar design. Is this some niche brand? For the rest of the game, Shui wore Xianxia's jacket the whole time. He was so calm and natural that no one thought anything of it. Xianxia was the only one who felt that something was wrong. After playing 2 rounds with everyone, she exited the game and went to the kitchen. Xiao Naofu circled around her feet and softly whined. Meow, meow, are you hungry? Xiaomi touched its belly. It was still round. She felt helpless. Xiao Naofu, did Jiang Chun and the others secretly feed you? Xiao Naofu looked innocent. Those stinky little brothers want to hug me. Of course they have to pay the price. You'll get fat if you eat too much. Xiaomi tried to reason with it. Hearing this, the soft kitten laid down on the ground, revealing its white belly. It tilted its head and said in a childish voice, Meow, 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 does Sister not love me anymore? I only have Sister in my heart. When I see you, I don't even want to blink, Xiaomi. You actually learned to act cute for a bite of food. Xiao Naofu, this trick, you can do more in the future. Chapter 174. After rubbing Xiao Naofu from head to toe, Xiaomi figured it was either hungry or gluttonous. She cut a small piece of fish into thin slices, roasted them, sprinkled some seasoning on them, and fed them to the kitten. The fresh fish was cooked at just the right temperature, and it tasted many times better than the snacks the stinky boys fed it. Xiao Naofu whimpered and ate with relish. After finishing the last few slices, the cat's round eyes turned. It picked up the fish slices and walked gracefully to Shui with its short legs. Shui and the others were still playing games in front of the coffee table. The kitten nudged Shui with its head. After the other party gave it a puzzled look, it slowly ate the grilled fish slices. Jiang Chun. Is Xiao Naofu eating the fish that you caught, Senior? Xiao Naofu was even more proud. Hee, stinky man, I'll always be Yi's favorite. You're only worthy of fishing for me. Ah meow. Shui said calmly. Do you have a reliable pet hospital to recommend? Is Xiao Naofu sick? Jiang Chun asked nervously. It's not sick, Shui smiled. I just want to know what to pay attention to before a kitten is sterilized. Xiao Naofu, Sigma, degree. F***CKU, Jiang Chun, but Xiao Naofu doesn't even have a girlfriend yet. Sterilizing it will deprive it of its happiness. Bullet comments. Chinzai, I suspect you're cheating, and I have sufficient evidence. Shui, losing something after getting it is the most painful. The boys were convinced and felt what he said made sense. But for Xiao Naofu, it was like a bolt from the blue. What to do? What if the stinky man secretly took it to a pet hospital when he wasn't around? Xiao Naofu suddenly felt a chill under its tail. It hesitated, then leaned over to Shui and spat out a piece of grilled fish. It urged anxiously, meow, meow. The netizens were tickled by this scene. Ha ha, Green Tea Meow is admitting defeat. Green Tea acts, Big brother, try this fish, it's so delicious. Have you guys noticed? Shurindi only bullies Xiao Naofu when Sister E isn't around. He's just like my dad, who often bullies me behind my mom's back cack. Shui lovingly rubbed the back of Xiao Naofu's neck and fed it the grilled fish. Be good, okay? Whoa, stinky man. Xiao Naofu cried in its heart, and then tears flowed down from the corners of its mouth. It howled and bit into the grilled fish. How fragrant. The live stream in the afternoon went very smoothly and was very popular. Hashtag Hades' inspiration explosion hashtag. Hashtag Xianxia's girl group dance hashtag. Hashtag Shurendi's women's wear hashtag. And other topics were all highly discussed. In the blink of an eye, it was dinner time. Xianxia wasn't sure when her brother would wake up, so she left some food for him and asked her brothers to bring the rest to the table. When she passed by her brother, she helped him tuck in his blanket. In some people's eyes, this scene was heartwarming and thoughtful, but in others' eyes, it was an unforgivable sin. There are actually people who don't think there's a problem. Have you all forgotten how disgusting this young actress was back then? Then let me remind everyone, sneak into Xianxia's room. She's the kind of girl I hated the most when I was a student. She would go around calling everyone her brother. She's coquettish and pretends to be an innocent white lotus. Does she deserve to be called Big Brother Hades? Flirting with Hades while putting her own jacket on Xianxia. If this isn't too timing, what is? Chapter 175. Some netizens retorted. Hades also calls Xianxia little sister. They might be siblings. A bunch of people immediately retorted, haha. She said in an interview that she's an only child. Where did this brother come from? I now suspect that Smog isn't her biological brother either. He's just cooperating with her. How can there be so many coincidences in this world? Do you think reality is more exciting than TV dramas? The comments section was extremely noisy, and many people who didn't know what was going on were led astray. They either turned off the live stream or helplessly blocked the bullet screen. Why are there so many arguments every day? The staff immediately reported to Li Jinyu about the situation in the bullet screen. Li Jinyu frowned deeply. After all, there were so many netizens that it was normal for there to be haters. However, it was mealtime. After so many days of live streaming, the most attractive part of Two Under One Roof was the food that Xianxia cooked. Hence, the comments during mealtime would be very harmonious. Today's large-scale argument, it was very abnormal. Li Jinyu suddenly thought of something and clicked on Chun Mian's WeChat Moments, the director of Heartbeat. He had posted a status update a few minutes ago. Chun Mian, Muyao TV. Muyao TV's new livestream variety show, Eating Well for All 3 Meals, has officially set sail. Thanks to Meijia Milk by Xianxia Laundry Solution and Great Sports, 2 A-list celebrities have appeared. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., we will unveil 2 mysterious guests. Li Jinyu gritted his teeth. He didn't expect Chun Mian to start another variety show after the incident where he cheated his fans of their money. The name and number of guests were obviously the same as Two Under One Roof. Shameless. Li Jinyu gritted his teeth. He didn't expect to be so disgusted even after leaving Muyao TV. The public relations department of Muyao TV was extremely powerful, and the negative comments in the live stream were probably their doing. In order to promote their own variety show, they didn't hesitate to destroy their competitors. Such vicious competition was really despicable. At the dining table, no one knew about the bloody storm in the comment section. After the food was served, the boys ate very slowly. Xianxia was puzzled. What's wrong? Is it not to your liking? Should I make something else for you? Considering that her younger brothers were growing but had to maintain their figures, she tried her best to make high-protein but low-calorie food. The most nutritious dish was a medicinal soup. It was meant to nourish the children's bodies, but it also removed the oil slick. Gazing at her, Jiang Chun said pitifully, "Sister, we won't be able to eat your cooking tomorrow." The atmosphere at the table instantly became gloomy. Not to mention eating big sister's food, they probably wouldn't even be able to eat their fill. Only then did the younger brothers realize what Senior Sure meant by losing something after obtaining it is the most painful. As expected of Senior, this was the truth of the world. How about this? What do you want to eat? You can send me a WeChat message, and I'll get the driver to deliver it to you. Xianxia was always more patient with her beautiful younger brothers. Really? Jiang Chun and the others' eyes lit up. Yes, I'll keep my word. As a result, the bullet screen in the live stream became even more ferocious. I'm afraid she's gone crazy thinking about men. She's casting a wide net, right? I suggest everyone report this show. The reason is that it is spreading bad information. What's with the program assembly? Hurry up and get rid of the Xiang actress. Don't let her ruin good men like Xianxia and Hades' younger brothers. She should just die to atone for her sins. Chapter 176. Muyao TV. In the conference room, Chun Mian propped his feet up on the long table and looked at the comments on his phone with a smirk. The fake reviewers are doing well this time. The head of the public relations department smiled and said, "Now, not only has the comment section of the live stream of 2 Under One Roof fallen, the posts we arranged on Weibo and forums have also been published. We can't beat them. Let's just compare how lousy they are." Anyway, Muyao TV has never lost when it comes to lousy. Countless Weibo posts and posts were posted, and a negative public opinion was rampant. The livestream of 2 Under One Roof is too hostile. It's better to look forward to eating well for all 3 meals, a real lifestyle and food variety show. Do you really believe that Xianxia doesn't need to be popular? Wrong. Think about how many trending searches 2 Under One Roof has been on these days. Who would believe that it's not a publicity stunt? The female star Xiang has really brought too much hate to 2 Under One Roof. To be honest, she's almost considered a celebrity with a bad reputation. She openly flatters and seduces men. Choosing her to appear on this variety show is the production team's biggest mistake. Everyone had a herd mentality. Seeing the overwhelming negative comments about 2 Under One Roof, the netizens who hadn't watched it naturally didn't want to watch it anymore. Those who were watching it also felt that it was better to watch something else. After all, it was too annoying to watch it with a bullet screen. The number of real-time viewers in the live stream had obviously begun to drop. However, why are there still so many people watching? Chen Mian frowned. The head of the public relations department was also a little speechless. Aren't these netizens stupid? More often than not, they would charge into the trap like an idiot and achieve the desired effect. They had planned this because they wanted the number of viewers to plummet. Although there was a drop now, the proportion was not high. There were still millions of people watching. She forced herself to save some face. Maybe it's because it's mealtime. You know that food bloggers are very clingy. Those fat foodies only have food in their eyes, so they probably blocked the bullet screen. Chun Mian urged, add more fuel to the fire. If it doesn't work, contact the hacker from last time and hack their live stream. They had used this trick on the day 2 Under One Roof started broadcasting, which was also the reason why the live stream of 2 Under One Roof was interrupted several times that day. There are experts over at Xianxia app. Ordinary hackers can't break their security wall. Then let's find a top hacker. Top hackers are expensive too. That's nothing. As long as 2 Under One Roof collapses, eating well for all 3 meals will be able to earn back the money in minutes. Chen Mian added, don't forget that I invited Zhuo Yi and Jiang Yun'er this time. Zhuo Yi, a double best actor, a famous martial arts star with a very high national popularity. Jiang Yun'er debuted as a singer. She was crowned as the Queen of Songs and had countless popular songs. These 2 people could be said to be A-listers among A-listers. A few years ago, when news of their secret marriage spread, Weibo was paralyzed. Fans felt that they had been deceived, and their reputation was affected. The reason why he participated in eating well for all 3 meals was that Muyao TV gave him a lot of money. On the other hand, he wanted to clear his name by showing off his love. The person in charge gritted his teeth. All right, I'll contact them right away. The manner. The dishes were swept clean. Xianxia inadvertently turned her gaze and realized that her brother had woken up at some point in time. His slender fingers were resting on his forehead as he looked down at his phone. His expression, it was incomparably ugly. Chapter 177. Xianxia got up and said, Brother, you're awake. I left some food for you. Wait a moment. Hearing her voice, Xianxia raised his head and responded with a faint before returning to his cold and aloof self. His slender fingers tapped something on the screen. Xianxia trotted to the kitchen to bring out the food, which was naturally mocked again. Ha ha. In the end, there's nothing left. Did Hades find out that she's the king of drama? Why are you still so eager to get close to him? Aren't you cheap? Hades doesn't like you at all, okay? Little did they know that the seemingly noble, aloof, and arrogant Hades was currently spouting sweet words on the livestream app. As soon as he sent out a few messages, a notification popped up on the screen. Frowny face. Hello, respected user. Your account, little sister, is the cutest in the world. is suspected of violating the platform's rules and will be unblocked in 24 hours. Please be civilized and speak politely. Xianxia, he took a deep breath and went to the bathroom to wash his face with cold water. Only then did he feel a little more stable. He dialed his little uncle Xiangfeng's number. After the call connected, he skipped the pleasantries and went straight to the point. Unblock my account on the Xianxia app. Xiangfeng complained. Am I omnipotent? Why do you always come to me for everything? What kind of overbearing CEO are you? Can't you do that? Xiangfeng, send me your account number. I'll get someone to see what's going on. Xianxia sent a screenshot of his account number to Xiangfeng's WeChat. Xiangfeng forwarded it to the staff of the technical department and clicked on his little niece's live stream to take a look. Thus, there was one more netizen in the live stream who was arguing with the haters. Thus, there was one more account that the technical staff had to unblock. Xianxia came out of the bathroom and saw his sister coming out with 2 plates of food. One was the stir-fried pig intestines with pepper that he had ordered, while the other was his favorite seafood pasta. Xianxia stepped forward and snatched the plate from her hand. He said fiercely, I'll serve it myself. How could his sister use her hands to serve food? Xianxia blinked. Brother, what's wrong? Who made you angry? Xianxia, it's none of your business. Bullet comments in the live stream. Haha, clap, clap, clap. Vase fairy, does your face hurt? Xianxia sat down at the dining table and noticed Shui's jacket. He said angrily, Why are you wearing her clothes? Shui said calmly, She lent it to me. Nonsense. Xianxia roared. His eyes fell on Xianxia. Did he steal your clothes? You're already so old, yet you still bully children. No matter how old Xianxia was, she was still a child in his eyes. The word age successfully stabbed Shui in the heart. Slowly, he began to roll up his shirt sleeves. Instantly, Xianxi's mind was filled with the words, danger, 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 danger. He threw down his chopsticks and said ruthlessly, Don't come any closer. If you come any closer, I'll run away. Don't even think about touching a strand of my hair. Xianxia, her brothers, Shui, snorted in disdain. Xianxia trembled and tugged at Xianxi's sleeves. He whispered, So what if he stole it? I'll make you a cuter jacket. Xianxia felt helpless and amused. He didn't steal it. I lent it to him. Why are you still speaking up for him at this time? Xianxia said bitterly. Don't forget that you have your brother to protect you. I can't beat him in a fight, but I can climb trees better than him. Chapter 178. Fine, I'll do whatever Big Brother says. Xianxi's eyes were gentle as she pushed the food towards Xianxia. Big Brother, eat it while it's hot. Xianxia tasted the stir-fried pig intestine with hot peppers. If the intestine wasn't handled well, the smell would be very strong. However, Xianxi's stir-fried pig intestine not only didn't have any smell, but it was also very fragrant. During the stir-frying process, she added some bean paste, green peppers, and onions, which made it especially chewy. While he was eating happily, he heard Shui say leisurely, Do you know that there's a tool called a ladder in the world? Xianxia was speechless. The pig intestine in his mouth instantly lost its fragrance. Big Brother, stop teasing him, Xianxia advised. Xianxia initially thought that Xianxia was calling him, but when he realized that she was calling Shui Big Brother, the man was shocked. He had used an apron and a hair tie in exchange for his sister, calling him Big Brother. What right did this old man Shui have? What right did he have? Don't call him Big Brother. Xianxia was furious. Xianxia was startled. What's the matter? I don't care. Xianxia was extremely aggrieved. You can only call me Big Brother. In a live stream, there were already fake reviewers leading the discussion. Now, many netizens were affected and began to follow the trend. No one will refute me if I say that Xianxia is a green tea, right? Her existence on this show is so F***ing disgusting. I'm about to throw up my dinner from last night when she keeps calling him Big Brother. This is such a cheesy idol drama. Shui and Hades are really degrading themselves. What kind of woman can't outstanding men like them find? It's so degrading to be jealous of such a woman. Xianxia coaxed Xianxia for a long time before he finally calmed down. However, when she met Shui's innocent eyes, She inexplicably felt that she had let him down. The girl pondered for 2 seconds, picked up Xiao Naofu, and whispered, Xiao Naofu, can you do me a favor? Meow. Help me coax Senior Sure. He doesn't seem too happy, Xiao Naofu. What did you say? You want me to coax that stinky man? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Can you coax him like you did just now? Xiangyi negotiated with it. I'll make you 3 days' worth of luxurious tiger rice. The kind that brain axe loves the most. Xiao Naofu. Do you think you can move me like this? Absolutely not. 7 days. He couldn't take any more. Otherwise, I'll ask Jiang Chun and the others for help. Xiao Naofu panicked. Meow. It patted the girl's palm with its little paw, indicating that it was a deal. Xiangyi hugged and kissed it with satisfaction. At this time, Xianxia was almost done with his meal. He took out his phone and saw that Xiangfeng was very efficient. The ban on his account had been lifted. He opened the live stream to continue the battle, only to find that the comments were even more unsightly. Some people were even lecturing him. Hades, just play with Xiangyi, don't take it to heart. A woman like her doesn't deserve your protection. It doesn't make sense at all, bang. Xiangqi slammed the table, clicked on the person's profile picture, and sent a private voice message. Are you teaching me how to do things? You don't have the right to criticize my sister. I'm protecting my sister. Do I need to explain to you? Huh? The netizens watching the live stream were dumbfounded, and the comment section was full of question marks. Sister? Xiangqi glanced at the comments and said coldly, That's right, I'm Xiangyi's brother. Xiangqi, do you have a problem with that? Chapter 179. There was an uproar in the live stream. Are you kidding me? Hades is Xiangyi's brother? What the hell? There was Smog Xiangyu before, and now there's another brother? Then why did Xiangyi say that she's an only child? I even went to watch the interview. She said it herself. Not only were the netizens watching the live stream, but the staff and guests were also dumbfounded. Xiangqi simply interacted with the netizens. She's an only child, yes, but I'm her cousin. Xiangyu? That silly boy is my cousin. We're family. Xiangyi watched from the side in a daze. She didn't expect that her brother would choose to disclose their relationship in such a way. The reason why he used the name Hades instead of his real name was that he only wanted to rely on his own strength and didn't want to have anything to do with the Xiang family. But now, because of her brother had exposed his real identity that he had been hiding for years. All of a sudden, her slender wrist was grabbed. Xiangyi looked up, only to find that her brother was standing in front of her at some point. Xiangqi's expression was unprecedentedly solemn. She's my sister, not someone you can bully as you please. Rumors stop with the wise. I don't want any more slanderous remarks about her. Cyberbullying is too simple. Most of the time, you don't realize how much harm your casual words can bring to others. If you can't learn to be kind, then at least keep your mouth shut. There was silence in the live stream, and even the netizens didn't know where to start. After more than 10 seconds, the comments section suddenly exploded. Hades is so awesome. When he was climbing the tree, he looked so silly and adorable, but now he's so damn handsome when he's seriously defending his sister. What the F asterisk CK? One brother is an esports guru, while the other is a top designer. Other people's sisters really don't disappoint me. So everything makes sense now? Sister E treats Hades well because she dotes on her brother. Hades made aprons and hair rings for Sister E because he dotes on her. It's not like he's casting a net. It's a sibling relationship. The posts on Weibo and forums that were criticizing Xiangyi for flirting with Hades were instantly rebutted by netizens. Case solved, they're siblings. I suddenly feel weird. Why does he have to snipe Sister E every time? I just heard the analysis of a big shot in the media industry. He said that the core of Two Under One Roof seems to be Sure Ingdi, but it's actually Xiangyi. In the early stages of the variety show, they relied on Sure Ingdi's popularity, but what really stabilized the number of viewers and enriched the show's content was Xiangyi's culinary skills and skills. If it were any other artist, they wouldn't be able to achieve this effect. In other words, without Xiangyi, this variety show would never have achieved what it has today. The public opinion had reversed. Chapter 180. Xiangyi flirting with Hades? Are you kidding me? Xianxia, 2 timing. Are you kidding me? Thanks to the convenient speed of the internet, any information spread hundreds or thousands of times faster. The hashtag Xianxia's brother, Hades hashtag became a trending topic, and the number of related topics remain high. Suppressing hashtag eating well for all 3 meals is about to start streaming hashtag Muyao TV. Seeing the shocking reversal, Chun Mian was about to vomit blood. He said angrily, "How can he be her brother? How many brothers does she have?" The head of the public relations department had a sullen look on her face. She never expected that Xianxia and Hades were actually siblings. None of the points that she had asked the internet trolls to slander them could be used. Those were the prerequisites to slander them. Slandering them out of nothing wouldn't have much of an effect. The number of viewers in the live stream of 2 Under One Roof rose from more than 4 million to 5 million, and then to 6 million. Her heart skipped a beat when she saw the number. At this rate, it would probably rise to 10 million by the evening peak. What did that mean? It meant that 2 Under One Roof was really going to be a hit. Where are the hackers? Have you found them? Chun Mian roared. The head snapped out of her daze and hurriedly checked the messages on her phone. Her eyes lit up. I've contacted them. Chun Mian smiled viciously. Over 10 million? Don't even think about it. Xianxia's interaction with the netizens was still going on, and he was basically praising his sister the entire time. Of course my sister is the cutest in the universe. Don't think that she's just good at cooking. Her sense of taste is amazing. She can tell the seasoning and cooking techniques just by tasting a dish. Xiang Yu is Sameo Ge, so I'm San Mao Ge. Who posted that? First, it's Kelp Silk, now it's San Mao Ge. Do you think I don't care about my reputation? At this moment, the live stream suddenly went black and was forced to stop. All the viewers in the live stream immediately exited. They wanted to enter again, only to find that there was a bug in the live stream of 2 Under One Roof. At the live stream, Li Jinyu hurriedly called the staff forward to check the faults. Xiao Naofu, on the other hand, hesitated for a long time before finally jumping to Shi Sui's side. It lay down, revealing its soft, milky white belly, its eyes filled with tears of humiliation. Shi Sui raised her eyebrows and scratched its belly. Then, she withdrew her hand disinterestedly. What a stinky man playing hard to get. Xiao Naofu refused to believe it and used its head to nudge Shi Sui's palm again. The man remained unmoved and even pushed it away in disgust. Boom! The sky collapsed. Xiao Naofu sat on the ground, doubting its life. This man, he is not interested in this ho-ho's body. Holding the kitten's paw, Jiang Chun teased it with a smile. Your sister just kissed you, and you're abandoning her to play with someone else? He paused for a few seconds. His slender hand grabbed Xiao Naofu by the scruff of its neck and brought the cat in front of him. Shi Sui narrowed his eyes. She kissed it? Xiao Naofu tilted its head. Meow. Shi Sui curled his lips slightly and closed the distance between them. Taking advantage of the unsuspecting kitten, he pressed his pale lips onto Xiao Naofu's forehead with a chirp. Jiang Chun was dumbfounded. An inexplicable thought came to his mind. Does Senior Shi count as indirectly kissing my sister? Xiao Naofu. Damn it, why did you kiss me? This Ohu is not clean anymore. Chapter 181. A few minutes later, Li Jinyu helplessly announced, Xianxia Broadcasting contacted me, saying that a hacker maliciously attacked the database and specifically targeted our broadcast room. Even if we change to another broadcast room, I'm afraid we'll still be attacked. Today's broadcast will end here. Thank you for your hard work. The C7 brothers still had a schedule early in the morning. Although there were some regrets, they still had to leave. Before leaving, the brothers bowed to all the staff to express their gratitude. The program crew had a good impression of these cute and polite brothers. Li Jinyu even added them on WeChat to see if there was a chance to recommend them to other directors in the industry. Finally, it was time to say goodbye to Xianxia. Sister, there were thousands of words in his heart, but he didn't know where to start. Jiang Chen's eyes were red. Thank you for inviting us to participate in 2 Under One Roof. I feel very happy. Yes, me too, sister. Thank you for the food, sister. It's been hard on you. I hope sister can be happy every day. Hey sister, everything is good. In the fast-forwarded world, Xianxia had experienced too many farewells. So when she returned to the real world, she basically didn't take the initiative to socialize because being in contact with people meant that there would inevitably be times when they would be separated. However, two under one roof gave her a different feeling. Here, I prepare it for you guys. Eat well, especially when you're in a bad mood. Only then will you have the strength to face everything. She took out a few bundles of packed lunchboxes and smiled gently. I'm looking forward to the day when you guys shine on the stage. You can come eat here whenever you want. You're always welcome. Someone sobbed, and a sad mood spread. The younger brothers took the bento in her hand and walked forward without looking back. They were afraid that if they looked back, they wouldn't be able to hold back their tears. They didn't fear the cruelty of this world, but they could never be indifferent to gentleness. After sending off the brothers, Xianxia was blocked by Xianxia. Brother? The girl looked up and called out to him in confusion. Xianxia's handsome face was tense. Want to talk? Xianxia bit her lip and nodded. Under the tall sycamore tree, Xianxia sat on the swing and looked at her brother expectantly. Xianxia raised his hand and swung the swing for her. After pondering for a moment, he asked, Where have you been for the past year? Xianxia didn't know how to answer. It's okay if you don't want to talk about it. It's good that you're back. Xianxia's voice lowered, revealing a hint of hoarseness. The tip of Xianxia's nose began to sting. She propped herself up on the tips of her toes and stopped, staring at Xianxia seriously. Brother, I went on a trip. I went to a very distant place, met a lot of different people, and learned some strange skills. Now that my trip is over, I'm going home because you're all here. Xianxia's expression changed slightly. He turned his face away and asked awkwardly, Hey, did anyone bully you? Do you need me to avenge you? Xianxia smiled. No, I'm the one bullying others. After all, she was the strongest assistant in the world. Xianxia felt as if a heavy burden had been lifted off his shoulders. He suddenly grabbed Xianxia's little face and squeezed it twice, threatening her fiercely. The next time you go on a trip, you have to bring me along. At the very least, you should have informed me, because I'm really worried about you. Sister, be good, okay? Chapter 182. The air was especially fresh after the rain, and there was a faint floral scent in the air. A few street lamps gave off a warm glow, and even the night breeze was extremely gentle. Xianxia wanted to cry, but she tried her best to hold it in. She sounded like she was about to cry. Don't cry. Xianxia's tone was fierce, and his voice was nasal. He sniffled, took out his phone, and turned on the camera. You hurry up and coax me. Xianxia, big brother is the best in the world? Xianxia emphasized, third brother is the best in the world. Xianxia cooperated and recorded a video. Xianxia was elated. I'll send it to Xianxia and the rest now. The atmosphere between the brother and sister was filled with warmth after they had reconciled. Not long after the message was sent, Xianxia was curious. Did they reply? Xianxia took a look and saw that Xianxia had not replied. It was probably because of the time difference or because he was busy with work overseas. Xianxia had not replied either. He was probably still in an autistic state. However, his second brother, Xianxia, who he thought was the busiest, had replied. Xianxia, huh? Xianxia. Smile. Smile. Xianxia. I'm planning to go to the manor tomorrow. Xianxia. The sun will still rise tomorrow. It's unknown if you can see it. Xianxia. He quickly put away his phone and put it in his pocket, not showing Xianxia the content of his reply. Brother, let me see. Xianxia whined. What are you looking at? Go to sleep. Xianxia put on the airs of an older brother. Well, I have to go back to the studio to work on the new design. Huh? That urgent? Stay for another night? You can leave after breakfast tomorrow. I want to eat my sister's breakfast. But I have to be alive to eat it. Xianxia struggled for 2 seconds and made up his mind. You don't have to send me off. I'm leaving. Bye. He plunged into the darkness as if he were being chased by a dog. Xianxia, the childish third brother, was so strange. However, she and third brother had reconciled. Thinking of this, a smile appeared at the corner of the little girl's mouth, and even her footsteps became lighter. In the living room, when Xianxia came in, she saw Shui fiddling with the projector. The screen was frozen at the beginning of a movie. It looked like a horror movie. Only then did she remember that she had only used the projector a few times since she had bought it a long time ago. You want to watch a movie? Shui looked back and raised her eyebrows. Xianxia doesn't allow you to call him brother, so you won't? The little girl wanted to change her words, but Shui said casually, "It doesn't matter what you call me." Xianxia, then, how about I call you by your name? Calling him senior was indeed too distant. She was afraid that Shui would mind if she called him Zai Zai. After thinking about it, it seemed that calling him by his name was the most appropriate. Shui's eyelids drooped lazily, and the light reflected on his face gently. In the midst of the light and shadow, he responded with an indiscernible Shui. The little girl's voice was gentle and soft. She had heard this name countless times, but it sounded different when she called it. For some reason, it felt more intimate than when she called him brother. He looked at her from afar. His temperament and expression were as gentle and clear as ever, but there was a touch of affection between his thin eyebrows. "Do you want to watch a movie together?" he asked. "Okay, I'll go get the popcorn." Xianxia came out with the homemade, milk-flavored popcorn. Shui poured 2 glasses of drinks and made goat milk for Xianxia. Xianxia's brain twitched, and she blurted out, "Are we a bit like a family of 3 watching a parent-child movie together?" The room went silent for a moment. Chapter 183. An invisible awkwardness pervaded the air. Xianxia awkwardly corrected herself. I'm telling a joke. Isn't it funny?" Shui raised an eyebrow. "A cold joke, fresh out of the oven. Should it be considered a hot joke?" It sounded more like a cold joke. The girl simply used the wisdom that her brother had taught her. As long as I don't feel awkward, then it's others who feel awkward. She calmly sat down on the sofa and stuffed popcorn into her mouth. "Let's start." Shui turned off the lights in the living room and pressed play with the remote control. The room darkened, accompanied by the gloomy scene and terrifying sound effects on the screen. Xianxia desperately burrowed into Xianxia's arms. Xianxia raised her hand to hug it, and the little cat whined and rubbed against her collarbone. Suddenly, there was the sound of a chainsaw drilling. Xianxia was so scared that it wanted to bury its head in her chest, but a ruthless hand suddenly appeared behind its neck and lifted it into the air. Meow, meow, meow. Xianxia kicked its little legs, so scared that its fur stood up. Shui calmly stuffed the little cat into her pajamas pocket. "I'll take care of Xianxia. You eat your popcorn first." Xianxia was as timid as a dog. It buried its face in the pajamas pocket and didn't dare to move. "Xianxia, I want to tell a joke again. Do you want to hear it?" "Shui, huh?" Xianxia, the scene just now was a bit like, "Mother of a child, I'll take care of Xianxia. You eat your popcorn first." Darkness shrouded the man's eyebrows, and he seemed to chuckle. His voice was low and magnetic, revealing a languid and seductive energy. "When did our sister learn to take advantage of others?" Cough, cough. Xianxia choked on her popcorn. Fortunately, Shui handed her a glass of honey lemonade in time. She drank 2 mouthfuls to moisten her throat and pretended to be calm. "If you really want to take advantage of others, I'll call you Zai Zai and let you and Xianxia call each other brothers." Xianxia. Meow. "This doggo man doesn't deserve to be called brother of this hoe." Shui raised her eyebrows. "In that case, it's not unfair for me to call you the mother of my child, right?" "No, I was just spouting nonsense. You don't have to beat around the bush." Shui crossed his long legs and leaned against the sofa leisurely. "If you want to take advantage of me, I'll let you take advantage of me." Xianxia, why did he feel like he was being teased? The girl took a deep breath. It was probably because she was too excited about reconciling with her brother that she was talking nonsense. Xianxia stiffly changed the topic. "Where's the plot now? Where's the ballet dancer?" She had asked casually, thinking that Shui would answer her quickly. She did not expect him to be silent for more than 10 seconds before he said uncertainly, "Did you get your lunchbox?" The next second, the camera panned to the ballerina. Shui With her by his side, it became extremely difficult to focus on watching the movie. Fortunately, the girl was engrossed in the movie and did not care about his answer at all. As she ate, she became sleepy and her head nodded. It looked like she was about to fall to the other side of the sofa. Shui quietly put his hand on the back of the girl's neck and gently moved her to his shoulder. The girl leaned on his shoulder, sleeping soundly with her eyes closed. His thin lips curled up slightly. Xiao Naofu's cat eyes widened. It felt like this scene was even scarier than the horror movie that was currently playing. This dog of a man actually has such a gentle side. Don't tell me this Hohu is really going to have another father. Ah, no, another brother? Chapter 184. Unlike the peaceful days in the manor, a huge wave had been set off on the internet. First, there was a huge reversal of public opinion. Claims about Xianxia being a seductress and the self-objectification of women were all overturned by netizens. The marketing accounts and fake reviewers were scolded so badly that they began to doubt their lives. Then, the closure of the live stream caused strong dissatisfaction among fans. Complaints and disses were everywhere on the internet. What technical problem is this? It's been so long, and they still can't watch the live stream? Let's talk about a conspiracy theory. I feel that the problem with the live stream is not a technical problem at all, but someone's doing. Think about it. The live stream of Two Under One Roof was also shut down several times on the first day, right? Don't talk about traffic problems. The traffic for the premiere of Heartbeat next door is not lower than that of Heartbeat. Why is the live stream so peaceful and the internet so stable? It's obvious that Muyao TV is familiar with this operation. What kind of tricks have they not used before? Slandering, exposing black material, creating hype, and hiring fake reviewers. 2 years ago, they plagiarized a small web show and refused to admit it. The director posted on Weibo asking for help from netizens, but in the blink of an eye, his leg was broken. Damn, I was wondering why there were so many posts defaming Xianxia. I thought that this girl's business skills were a little bad in the past, but it wasn't to the point of being despised by everyone. It turns out that someone deliberately did this. These comments caused a huge uproar. Some fans even went to Muyao TV's official Weibo account and left comments asking for an explanation. The operations department of the official Weibo account approached the public relations department, and after some discussion, they decided to delete the comments. Block users. Remove the trending searches on Weibo. The public relations department had long been used to such operations. The emotions of netizens came and went quickly. How long could the love last? How long could the hate last? As long as they refused to admit it and refused to respond, the netizens would have no evidence and no patience. What would they do to them? However, to everyone's surprise, the official Weibo account's high and mighty attitude of not taking the netizens seriously had successfully angered a large group of people. No way, right? I'm anxious. Delete the post? Can you delete it all? If you don't want people to know, don't do it in the first place. I'm dying of laughter. If you're not guilty, then what is? The love and hate on the internet might not last long, but anger does. It is better to divert than to block, and divert than to lead. Blocking it and suppressing it would result in a backlash. Muyao Satellite TV's official Weibo was flooded with comments. Some people even found out that Chun Mian was the director of Eating Well for all 3 meals, which would be broadcasted tomorrow. The netizens found a place to vent their emotions. Chun Mian's personal Weibo and the official Weibo of Eating Well for all 3 meals instantly fell. At the drinking party, Chun Mian enjoyed everyone's toasts proudly. During this time, some people glanced at their phones and began to whisper to the people around them. Within a few minutes, everyone was looking at him strangely. Why aren't you drinking anymore? Are you looking down on me? Chun Mian was shouting drunkenly when his phone suddenly rang. It was obviously the name of his direct superior. The call was connected, and the boss said concisely, "Xiao Chun, the project Eating Well for 3 meals has been assigned to someone else. You should rest well for a while." Chun Mian instantly sobered up. His face was as pale as a ghost. "Leader, you can't give up on me like this." The phone was hung up coldly. He wailed, "No." Chapter 185. At the same time, at a research institute, on the outdoor balcony, sparks of light flickered. Ah, brotherly, I finally succeeded. My experiment has perfectly extracted the G3 enzyme. The chubby boy saw Xiang Li and rushed over excitedly, wanting to give him a big hug. Xiang Li's indifferent movement was comparable to a flash in a game, causing the little fatty to pounce on empty air. The tall man with long legs leaned against the railing, a cigarette in his mouth, looking indifferent and distant. Congratulations. What's wrong with a hug? The chubby boy mumbled. Isn't everyone saying that you don't like girls? Xiang Li lifted his thin, single eyelids, revealing a faint red mole under his eyelid. Assuming that I like boys, what does that have to do with liking you? Do you think I don't care about looks or IQ? The chubby boy was speechless. Thank you, I'm hurt. Brotherly, I heard that you took a leave of absence tomorrow. Are you going home to visit your family? There were many research maniacs in the research institute, and they might not contact the outside world for months when they were busy with a project. Xiang Li was the most exaggerated. In the past year, he had barely left the research institute. Yeah, at the mention of family, Xiang Li obviously relaxed a lot. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly, and he smiled a little mischievously. I'm going home to bully little bunnies. The chubby boy was speechless. What kind of bad taste is this? The next day, Xiaomi slept very soundly. When she woke up, she looked at the alarm clock beside her bed. It was 6:53 a.m. While washing up, the girl suddenly realized something. Wait, wasn't she watching a movie last night? Why was she in her own bed when she woke up? She spat out the mouthwash and sighed. After transmigrating back, her vigilance was getting lower and lower. Meow, Xiao Naofu, who was lying on the pillow next to her, opened its eyes and looked at her, humming in a childish voice. It liked to sleep on pillows instead of cat bed. Xiaomi couldn't do anything about it, so she could only pamper it. Sleep a little longer. I'll make you some chicken and pumpkin rice later. Xiaomi kissed its forehead out of habit, but Xiao Naofu stiffened. Yesterday, that stinky man had also kissed her here. It couldn't even lick its fur. How infuriating. The little kitten rubbed Xiangyi's lips with its paw and meowed miserably. Stupid woman, you're the same as this hoo-hoo. You're not clean anymore. After the morning exercise, Xiangyi made breakfast for the staff. The doorbell rang, and she got up to open the door. The morning fog had yet to disperse, and the surroundings were filled with moist and hazy water vapor. Little Rabbit Farm's Wang shunly smiled at Xiangyi and said, Miss Xiangyi, I'm here to deliver some food to you. After knowing that Xiangyi was streaming, he would come over personally to deliver the ingredients every day. He would choose the best and freshest ingredients from Little Rabbit Farm. Thank you, Uncle Wang. Thank you for your hard work. Xiangyi took the basket from his hand and said, Stay for breakfast. Wang Shunli said, No, there are quite a lot of things to do at the farm. Oh, by the way, it seems that people from the Research Institute are coming over today. I received a notice that the experimental field is going to be inspected or something. I see. Xiangyi nodded. Then I'll have to trouble you to cooperate. As they spoke, the sound of a car horn came from the gate. It was a very rhythmic 3 beeps, no more no less as usual. Xiangyi's heart skipped a beat. Looking into the distance, she saw a low-key black car. The muscular bodyguard got out of the car first and opened the door for the person in the back. She received an editor's notice that Sister E is 10 years old would be published after 0:30 tonight. After it was published, each chapter would cost 5 cents, and it would cost about 2 to 3 cents a day to catch up. Those with high VIP status could even get a discount. Writing a book was just like being a staff member at a fried chicken shop, a milk tea shop, and a staff member at a hot and sour noodle shop. It was all a job. Nguyen Yuan also earned her tuition fees and pocket money through her own hands. She hoped everyone could understand a little plot trailer one. Isn't Second Brother Online good? White Xie Black meets Green Tea Meow and Best Actor. The competition between families is about to start. 2. Sea King, Sister E is online, and there's a bunch of fresh meat in the house. Shuringi's status is in danger. I'm the male lead. 3. A large-scale face-slapping scene. When it comes to face-slapping, our sister E will definitely not lose. 4. Throwing sugar at